Missouri head coach Norm Stewart reached a milestone in his career by picking up victory number 400. And one of the reasons was the play of his senior All-American, Derek Chivas, as he capped 29 points. And they face the Oklahoma Sooners, coached by All-Big 8 Coach of the Year, Billy Tubbs, and he'll need a big game from Ricky Grace, who leads the Big 8 in assists and three-point field goals made. It's Missouri and Oklahoma in Kansas City. Phillips 66 proudly presents the Big 8 Conference postseason tournament live on the Raycom Sports Network. From Kansas City's Kemper Arena, the Missouri Tigers meet the Oklahoma Sooners. Big 8 basketball is brought. So far, it has all gone according to plan as the top 4 seeds have advanced to the semifinals of the Big 8 postseason tournament, and we've got 2 dandy games on tap for you this afternoon. And a very pleasant Saturday afternoon, everybody. I'm Ron Thula, and welcome to a sold-out Kemper Arena in Kansas City, where Missouri faces Oklahoma in our first semifinal game. Missouri's had their problems against Oklahoma in postseason play. Oklahoma has eliminated Missouri from the postseason tournament in 1984, 85, and 86. Handling the play-by-play charge this afternoon will be Merle Harmon along with Dave Logan. And gentlemen, hold on to your hats. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, Ron, this should be a good one. Dave, this is a pretty even matchup. Oklahoma the edge apparently in offense according to the stats. Missouri probably a better defensive team.
Well, Merle, I think you'll be able to tell how the Tigers are going to do today if you simply chart the rebounds and the turnovers. Missouri the last time in Columbia when they defeated Oklahoma 93-90 out-rebounded the Sooners by 24. Now the first time in Norman it was plus 14 for the Sooners. So on the board today will be a very, very big tell.
This is a neutral court, it says here. Oklahoma 6-0 in neutral court play. Missouri 1-1. And we'll be back with the lineups at the start of the game right after these messages.
Now it is time for the starting lineup for game number 1 of the semifinal round of the Phillips 66 Big 8 tournament. For the Missouri Tigers, at forward, a 6'7" senior from Jamaica, New York, number 3, Derek Chivas. At forward, a 6'8" junior from Palmyra, Missouri, number 33, Greg Church. At center, a 6'10" freshman from Detroit, Michigan, number 34, Doug Smith. At guard, a 6'1" sophomore from Detroit, Michigan, number 4, Lee Coward. At guard, a 6'8" junior from Washington, Missouri, number 42, Mike Stanbody. For the Oklahoma Sooners, at forward, a 6'8" senior from Sparta, Georgia, number 25, Harvey Grant. At forward, a 6'5" senior from San Bernardino, California, number 44, Dave Seeger. At center, a 6'10" senior from Oklahoma, number 33, Stacey King. At guard, a 6-foot junior from Garland, Texas, number 10, Mookie Blaylock. And at guard, a 6'1" senior from Dallas, Texas, number 14, Ricky Grace.
Three other important participants in today's game are the officials, of course. And the officials for this first game this afternoon between Oklahoma and Missouri, Ron Zechter, Ron Olsiak, and Ron Spittler. Well, the big one is ready to go just moments away now, and we'll be back after these messages from your friends at Phillips 66. This telecast, a copyrighted presentation of Raycom Sports, and any reuse of this telecast without the express consent of Raycom Sports is prohibited. And here we go, Oklahoma against Missouri. First game, semifinal round. Later today, Kansas State. Oklahoma controls the tip, and Grace puts Oklahoma on the board in just a matter of 6 seconds. Sooners lead 2-0. Here comes that scratching, scrambling, pressing Sooner defense. Smith plays the middle at midcourt, and Missouri will be fouled by Grant. So Grant picks up a foul right away. Billy Tubbs, the head coach of Oklahoma, doesn't like to get fouls that quickly. Overall, Oklahoma leads in the series 90-76. And you can see this year two outstanding games. One at Norman, one at Columbia. The one at Columbia going overtime before Missouri won. And at Norman, Oklahoma beat Missouri 120-101 in a low-scoring game.
Yeah, indeed. Norm Stewart, a bit of a different lineup. Mike Sambody is in the lineup in place of Byron Irvin. And Sambody, the last time out, had 10 rebounds in the game against Oklahoma. Very good defensive player, and he'll allow the Tigers to control the backboards a bit more.
And the score tied at 2 as Oklahoma is right down into the front court in a hurry. Seeger, a great outside shooter for 3. If you play a zone against Oklahoma, which Missouri is not, Seeger is a great zone buster. 5-2. Now the takeaway. Trademark of Oklahoma. King misses a shot, and a charging foul is called on Stacey King. Second team foul against OU in the early seconds of this game.
Well, we mentioned Mike Sambody as a starter today. He does so much for the Missouri Tigers. Watch him get in front of Stacey King off of the steal. Sambody right there. Definitely a charge as King is called for his first foul. Oklahoma with the good pressure. You take Irvin out, you get more rebounding, but you also take away from your ball handling ability.
And Missouri into the front court. Sambody trying to beat Grace to the basket for a layup, and a foul is called, a blocking foul. Or no, a charging. Well, it is a blocking foul after all. It's on Seeger. Grace got out of there. Seeger came in to take the challenge. Seeger gets the foul.
Yeah, Billy Tubbs is pleading his case. Sambody taking the basketball to the hole. Let's see if Seeger is there. And watch how Sambody will avoid the contact as he jumps up. That's got to be a no call. Actually, the right arm of Dave Seeger. Seeger falls to the ground without even being touched and is called for a foul.
Sambody is on the line. Number 2 will be in play. Mike is a 6'8 junior from Washington, Missouri. He had 8 points in the game yesterday in the win over Iowa State. And he missed both the free throws. Grace comes down with the board for Oklahoma. Sooners down by 3. Blaylock, who could be a key figure in the game, zips it off to the right side, and the Sooners really have good ball movement. As the ball is laid up to Blaylock by Grace after penetrating, and we've got a whistle, another foul.
This is going to be on Dave Seeger going over the back. You won't be surprised should Oklahoma shoot a lot of three-pointers. They've had 3 guys this year that have shot more than 160 three-pointers. So they've got a very good perimeter game. Then they kick it inside to King and Grant. Blaylock with a three-pointer on the right-hand side. There's Seeger over the back of Doug Smith.
Oklahoma has already committed 14 fouls as we check another ball game. Seton Hall 7 over Syracuse in the first half. And LSU at halftime, Dale Brown's crew leading Kentucky by 5. Now we have a bit of a clarification at the scorers table. Oklahoma is scoring 106 points a game average-wise for the year, 98 in Big 8 conference play. I'm not sure if we're having a problem with the foul situation on the scoreboard, but that's been corrected now. 14 fouls against Oklahoma. And Derek Chivas, who had, I think Smith took an extra step, but he bangs in there.
Good move by.
And so Missouri is down by 1 now. Oklahoma, the home team. Grace for the outside, going for 3 and missing. And the ball is picked up and fired away by Blaylock, who misses, and Church clears the board for Missouri. Coward driving, laying up, missing. Oklahoma rebounding. And hitting the deck is Harvey Grant, and the ball is lost out of bounds.
You know, Missouri right now is successful in the running game, but they've got to be very careful they don't get lulled into thinking they can compete with this club at a breakneck speed. You've got to slow things down, try to get the ball inside into the hands of Chivas. Oklahoma is the best team in the country when they play baseline to baseline and get you to play that same way.
Church handling the inbound. Missouri down by 1 of the early going, and Church trying to put Missouri into a lead and does.
Nice give and go. Church gives the basketball up, expects it back, and gets it. That's how you break good man-to-man pressure with a lot of baseline cuts.
Grace to the inside. Foul called on Sambody, I believe. So Sambody picks up the first foul of the Tigers. Oklahoma will inbound the ball. Norm Stewart, his 21st year at Missouri, got his 400th win yesterday. He's only 3 away from 500 for a career as a collegiate coach. Back to the inside, ball tip. Here comes a 4-on-2. Chivas, Church, and a travel call.
That there were a couple of travels on that one. Chivas lost control of the ball. Church walked going to the bucket. Again, when you're not used to running the basketball all the time, it makes it very difficult when you attempt to do it. There's Chivas losing the basketball. And a good call.
Oklahoma right back. King baseline driving, missing. Chivas rebounding, but a foul call. Church may get it. Church has contributed greatly to Missouri and has become a starter as this junior from Palmyra, Missouri, who goes up 6'8", has a little check-in talk with Norm Stewart. And King is on the line. Missouri ahead by 1.
Stacey King, truly one of the improved players in the country this year. At 6'10", he's quick enough that he can take you outside a bit. As you see, the conference record in blocks had 40 points between Missouri and Oklahoma when they met in Norman.
And he gets 1 out of 2. King had 19 in the game yesterday in the Sooner win over Colorado. Missouri having trouble in the backcourt, clears it across down to Chivas. Chivas against Seeger on the drive, and it will not go. And a tip try is good by Smith. Doug Smith puts Missouri ahead by 2, but not for long.
Harvey Grant with the automatic turnaround jumper. He gets the offensive position, holds off with the right arm.
We've had 3 ties and 2 lead changes already. First 3 minutes of the ball game. This is what we were expecting, a very close game. And Blaylock on the takeaway, gets it down, and he is fouled by Sampoli. He got the 3-point play out of it, and he hit the free throw.
We said at the top it was going to be vitally important to watch how Missouri handled the Oklahoma pressure. Boogie Blaylock with well over 100 steals this year. Now, this is a foul that Sambodi would like to have back, although it looks like he whiffed. Blaylock with terrific hand speed. Watch him knock the ball away. Now, this is how Oklahoma plays the entire time. And we said earlier, Blaylock with 118 steals this year. Sambodi with the foul.
And Sambodi will knock him out of the ball game. Will be replaced by Byron Irvin, the transfer from Arkansas, who is the second leading scorer for Missouri.
Well, now you've got better ball handling ability by the Tigers, but you lose some of that rebounding edge that you had with Sambodi in the game.
Blaylock, who had 13 yesterday, hits the free throw, 3-point play. And Oklahoma, the home team, is ahead by 3. Missouri, Church coming to the top. Irvin looking to the inside for Chivas, and Seeger has him defensively. Ball is tipped away from Church. Seeger tried to grab it. Church gets it to Irvin for a wide-open layup. Byron Irvin for Missouri, 11-10 Oklahoma. The Sooners defeated Missouri 120-101 in Norman, but the Tigers won in overtime in Columbia 10 days ago as King bangs one in from the right side.
The Church can't handle King down the blocks unless he gets double help. And that time Lee Coward very late in getting to Stacey King, and at 6'10", he's got enough size and certainly enough jumping ability to go right over the top of Church.
Oklahoma leading by 3. We have 15 minutes, 59 seconds to go in the first half. Smith looks, jumps, pumps, and hits.
Doug Smith in the last game in Columbia, again, Missouri 93-90 victors over Oklahoma, had 21 points and 10 rebounds.
We've got a timeout here in Kansas City, and we'll return with more Big 8 action after this from your friends at Phillips 66. A reminder that later in the game, we'll be selecting our fourth player of the game. Dave and Ron and I will be picking the fourth player of the game near the end of the game, so stay with us. Let's look at the field goal.
Well, not much to choose from between the two clubs, both with 9 attempts, and at the start shooting very well. Missouri 67%, Oklahoma right at 56%. Missouri's got to shoot a high percentage, play good defense, and really stop the turnovers if they're going to beat Oklahoma here today.
Oklahoma made it to the semifinal round with a 99-66 win over Colorado yesterday, and Missouri beat Iowa State 90-80. In the second game today, it'll be Kansas State against Kansas. Raycom Sports, of course, will cover that for you. As King comes from the other side now. He has banked him in from each side. He has 5 for the game, and look at the Oklahoma pressure.
Church got pretty good help that time from Coward. King able to get it to go down anyway.
Irvin to Church. Church stopped for the jumper against Seeger. 6 points for Church.
Good job of breaking the press, and when you've got the numbers in your favor, 2-on-1 that time, Church with the right thing, taking it right to the basket.
Seeger going for three. Boy, he can kill you from out there. That's his second three-pointer of the ball game. And one thing about Dave Seeger, once he gets going from the outside, he's liable to hit 5 or 6. In fact, he hit 8 in one game, and that's a Big 8 record.
That's what makes Oklahoma so tough. They've got terrific perimeter shooters in Grace, Blaylock, and Seeger. Once you start to play that perimeter game, they dump it inside to Grant and King.
Church baseline, Smith in the middle. Shot partially blocked, picked up by Smith, fouled by Seeger. And that's number 3 on Dave. If it is Dave, then Ricky Grace holds his hands up. He said, I'll take it. It is Grace.
Good job of Smith. You'll see the block by King. Now Seeger trying to take the basketball outside. Tips it right back to Smith, and that should be a foul on Ricky Grace.
And they do log it to Grace, and Seeger had his body there, shot the hands high into the air, saying, not me, not me.
Oklahoma this year has 5 players, Grant, King, Blaylock, Grace, and Seeger, all averaging over 30 minutes per game. And they really drop off when they go to the bench. Although they've got 4 guys that have played in Jones and Wiley, Martin, and Mullins, but combined they average 39 minutes per game. So they're not nearly as deep as Missouri.
Doug Smith, the freshman from Detroit at 6'10", 64% free throw shooter, is 1 out of 2. That gives him 7 points for the game. He's averaging 11. Oklahoma down the floor in a hurry. Grace, an excellent point man. They moved to the inside for the turnaround by King, and a foul is called on Missouri. Leonard has just come in, and Leonard immediately picks up the foul.
Well, Leonard's big enough to handle King, but he's not nearly quick enough. And again, when Stacey King gets the basketball, he loves to turn to his right, in this case back toward the basket. He's got to get weak side help. Talking about Leonard, that time nobody there, Leonard with the foul. He's just not quick enough baseline. The baseline players for the Tigers are not quick enough one-on-one to handle the Sooners.
Stacey King, the 6'10" junior from Lawton, Oklahoma, missing on the first one. Second shot to be in play. Stacey's had a great year for Oklahoma. Dave mentioned his career high 40 against Missouri in the first game at Norman. Came back with 23 in that overtime loss at Columbia. It is a 4-point lead now for the Sooners. Lee Coward and Blaylock in the matchup. Coward trying to go to the baseline, and Blaylock commits a foul.
That Mookie's a great defensive player coming out of Midland JC last year. He's the Big 8 newcomer of the year as well. Good call for the body that time. You can see the points in the paint. In this category, Missouri should lead most of the day. Tigers with a good inside game, and the Oklahoma Sooners love to run and gun. Don't get a lot of points in the paint unless they get the ball inside the cake.
16 fouls against Oklahoma. We have 14:22 to go in the first half. Give and go, Irvin. So Byron Irvin gets his second field goal. 2-point lead, Oklahoma. From the outside, Grace for 3. Boy, it does take Oklahoma long to get those points back, does it?
And they frustrate the other club. You work so hard to get a bucket. They come down and in 8 seconds hit a 3-pointer. They're up 5 points. And you feel like you're certainly in the ball game. Been playing good, but you're behind.
And the ball is thrown away by Missouri. Oklahoma will play it in.
That's something we need to look at. The first game when Oklahoma beat Missouri 120-101, Ricky Grace and Blaylock, 19 assists and 5 turnovers. Now the Missouri Tigers as a team had 15 turnovers. You can't turn the basketball over and beat this team.
Smith fouls on the drive by King. So Stacey will be going to the free throw line. Doug Smith, his first foul. Derek Chivas has not scored. We have played more than 6 minutes of this ball game. In fact, Chivas has had only 1 shot.
And in my recollection, he hasn't touched the basketball very much. Now, Dave Seeger is an excellent defensive player, but certainly the Tigers can't afford to let Oklahoma take Derek Chivas out of the basketball game.
King for a pair. Stacey now 3 out of 5 on the free throw line.
Second game, by the way, when Missouri beat Oklahoma, they had 22 assists and only 18 turnovers. So turnovers, when you play the Sooners, are the one category that you've got to do a good job in if you're going to have a chance to win.
And Smith lost the ball as he hit the deck. His foot slipped out from under him. Irvin tries to save. Oklahoma picks up the ball again. Sooners have it. Grace going to King for a turnaround jumper from the left side. And King is having himself an afternoon. He has 10 points for Oklahoma, and the Sooners build their lead. 25-17, Oklahoma. Here's that pressure defense.
Well, they are everywhere on defense, really making Missouri work hard just to get the basketball down in the scoring range.
Chivas driving for his second shot and his first basket. So it's 25-19 Oklahoma. Missouri has had 6 assists and 7 turns, I believe now. Chivas fouled. Turnovers, that is.
They've got to, if they're to win this game, be ahead in the assist category once it's over. Oklahoma offensively puts so much pressure on you. They come down, get good shots. They're not afraid to launch from a three-point shot.
Oklahoma gets the rebound. King driving, going for 2, and it will not drop for him. And Leonard almost strangled Harry Chivas, who got the rebound. So Missouri will move up the floor with 12:43 to go in the first half. Oklahoma leading by 6. To the inside to Chivas against King, and it goes in for Chivas.
That's great body control. Chivas inside, able to get King with him and hang in the air, create some contact. Chivas much stronger than he looks.
Grant loose under the bucket, hammered by Chivas, and that's Derrick's second foul. So Chivas picks up 2 quick ones with 12:26 left to play in the first half. And Norm Stewart starts looking down the bench and looks for Nathan Bunton. Also, he has Church ready to come back, but now Church takes a seat. So Bunton will come in, and Chivas will take a few minutes on the sideline with 2 fouls. So Grant is on the line. Harvey, who is the leading scorer for Oklahoma with 21.2, gets the free throw, and it's his 3rd point of the game, and he had 14 yesterday in the win over Colorado. Kansas beat Oklahoma State 74-58. Kansas State won over Nebraska 75-70 to advance to the second semifinal game today. Pressure by Oklahoma. The ball knocked away by Blaylock. It'll stay in Missouri's possession.
Again, the pressure really causing Missouri problems. The Sooners have had 500 more opportunities at shooting the basketball than their opponents. One of the reasons they create so many turnovers that allows this club to get a lot of very easy shots. Unless you handle the pressure Oklahoma gives you, you're going to have problems the entire day.
Missouri's going to need some points now from Lee Coward. Coward penetrating, shot blocked by Blaylock, but Blaylock fouled. That'll be a second. Coward has averaged 11 points a game. One of the things you look at Lee Coward's scoring average, most of his points are extremely important points. All points are important, we know that, but I'm talking about critical points.
Well, he's had several games in which he's hit the last second jumper, a couple of times against the Kansas Jayhawks. What he has to do today is really control the tempo. It will be up to Coward, and should Len Hardy get in the basketball game, to make sure that Missouri plays at their pace. You can't get caught up in the Oklahoma Sooner pace, and Coward is going to be the one person that has to take care of the basketball for the Tigers.
That's his book yesterday. Coward has played outstanding ball for the last 8 or 9 games. In fact, he's been a good performer all year long, but he has been scoring more, and it is a 4-point lead for Oklahoma, 27-23. Seeger at the top, Grace from the outside for 3, rims the hoop, rebounded by Smith. Missouri has it. The Tigers need to put a little run together. Oklahoma, a team that Billy Tubbs feels doesn't get credit for playing good defense. He said that defense, and here it is, the defense has created many of the offensive opportunities just like this, with Blaylock on the baseline laying it off for an easy bucket.
That's an outstanding play. Blaylock picks the pocket of Lee Coward, leads the break, and dishes off for an easy bucket by Ricky Grace. You would think this club would get tired, but they have done this continuously during the course of the season.
Bunton trying to turn and now gets double teamed at the baseline. He's got to do something. The ball is blocked and taken away by King, and Stacey King hooks it out front. Oklahoma is in the front court for the ball. Blaylock for 3.
Got to think about a timeout. Norm Stewart now. His club has gone down by 9 points and not doing a good job against the pressure defense.
Oklahoma keeping the pressure on as Missouri gets that ball. They're still not in the front court, and now the count is on. And finally, Hardy, who's now in the game for Missouri, gets it into the front court. Smith goes to Leonard, the big guy. Easy lay, missing, and a follow by Bunton is knocked away.
Well, Harvey Grant and Stacey King inside, both at about 6'10", create a lot of problems for the Tigers, as they've done the entire season. You're seeing it right here this afternoon.
So the Oklahoma Sooners Leonard just missed getting that ball to go down. The Sooners led by Stacey King's 10 points. Lead by a score of 32-23, and will return right after these.
The McGregor X6000 basketball has a synthetic leather cover which feels and performs like the finest leather ball. It's water and scuff-proof.
32-23. Let's go to Ron Thulin.
Burl at the 13-minute mark. Oklahoma held an 8-point advantage, and Derek Chivas quickly scored his first 2 field goals of the game, and that cut the lead down to 4. Since then, Derek Chivas has taken some time on the bench to catch a breath. He's back in now, and that's allowed Oklahoma to get back up by 9. So I'm sure Norm Stewart wants Derek Chivas to get more in the offense.
The shooting percentages are strong, Ron, as we go back to play here. 10:43 left to play in the first half. Lynn Hardy, who missed 17 games with an injury. Ball turned over. Here comes Grace trying to beat Hardy to the basket. Good defensive play by Lynn Hardy, knocking the ball away.
You know, good defensive play is contagious. You got Stacey King now trying to take away the position from the inside people. King with the pass. And a good job right here by Lynn Hardy as he reaches around Ricky Grace.
10 minutes, 32 seconds left to play in the ball game. In the first half, that is, as Grant goes from the outside and misses. Missouri gets the rebound. Tigers have it. Here in Kansas City, Oklahoma and Missouri in the semifinal round of the Big 8 postseason tournament. Oklahoma leading 32-23. We have 10 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first half as Oklahoma, the long-range shooter, gives up the ball, but Missouri trying to save it, throwing it down floor to Coward. Ball out of bounds. It'll be played in by the Oklahoma Sooners. Missouri advanced to the semifinal round with a 90-80 win over Iowa State yesterday. Oklahoma got in by defeating Colorado 99-66. Other ball games, Kentucky by 2 over LSU, and Seton Hall leading Syracuse at the half. I'm Merle Harmon along with Dave Logan and Ron Thulin here in Kansas City. And this is the third meeting this year between Oklahoma and Missouri. They each won on the home team floor. Chivas and Hardy of Missouri. Baseline feed. Church reverse layup scoring for the Tigers. Greg Church with 8 now for Missouri. Oklahoma right back again, and neutralizing those last 2 points is Grant now has scored 6 for the game. 34-25 Oklahoma. We've got a 2-on-2, and Chivas ball knocked away by King. Picked up by Ricky Grace, and Grace driving all the way, misses the layup. Grant on the follow, scores, and is fouled.
Well, we talked about pace right from the start of the game. Missouri simply cannot get involved in a game like this and come out victorious. Chivas takes the ball right to King. You'll see it right here. Derek's got to give it up on the left side. He's got Church wide open. King with the block. Here comes Blaylock. Numbers are right for Oklahoma, and quickness dictates a lot in this game of basketball. Oklahoma has outstanding quickness.
So the foul puts Grant on the free throw line for a 3-point opportunity. And he connects on it. When Missouri has out-rebounded the opponent, the Tigers are 17-2 as we look at that big lead now for Oklahoma. Missouri has out-rebounded Oklahoma, but the Sooners have the lead as Leonard picks up a pair now for Missouri. Here is Seeger on the follow. It goes down.
Dave Seeger is an unsung hero for the Sooners. He just kind of hangs around, gets a lot of easy buckets, and I think a good timeout right now for Norm Stewart.
And Oklahoma leads it by 12, 39-27 in the first game of the semifinal round. And we'll return to Kansas City right after these messages. Well, the Tiger Band hoping that it can help the Missouri Tigers rebound here. They're down by 12 with 8:53 left to play in the first half. And look at those 3 points that I was just going to mention. That Missouri, they've got to have somebody like a Byron King start banging away from the outside.
But Missouri's taken 228 total three-pointers this year. As you take a look at some of the scores around the country, Purdue big, Louisville at half leading South Carolina. Missouri set a record in three-point attempts and makes this year. They had 97 makes on 228 attempts. There's another turnover. Oklahoma, on the other hand, has shot 647 three-pointers. So them shooting 4 for 10 right now is no great mystery.
Ricky Grace is responsible for that turnover by the Missouri Tigers' Lynn Hardy. And again, evidence of the defense that Oklahoma plays. You look at how many points they give up. The Sooners have allowed 89 points average per game, but Billy Tubbs looks at that stat in a different light as that turnaround jumper goes in for Stacey King, who now has 12 for the game. He says the defense he's talking about is the one that creates the offensive opportunities, just like Ricky Grace did a moment ago.
Here's how Missouri would like to play. A set offense, getting a half-court kind of offense, work the ball around, force Oklahoma to play good defense for some 20, 30 seconds on the shot clock, and then find somebody with an open shot.
Leonard turns, hooks it in. Gary Leonard with 4. 8 minutes, 6 seconds left, 41-29 Oklahoma. We're playing in the first half here in Kansas City. Inside to King. King baseline, leaves it off to Grant, who scores to the other side.
Good backside help that time by the Tigers, and an excellent pass by King on the baseline back to Harvey Grant.
Chivas close range, 6 points for him. Can Chivas pick the Tigers up and cut into this 12-point lead? Oklahoma's got the ball. Dave Seeger going for 3. And rebounded by Chivas. They've got a 2-on-2. Chivas going to leave it to the outside and set the Missouri offense. Lynn Hardy and Sandbody playing on the backside right now. Now Sandbody cuts to the bucket, and that leaves Byron Irvin to the outside. Leonard cut off the cross-court pass. He's big enough to do it at 7-1. Ball winds up in the hands of Lynn Hardy, and Hardy makes his drive. Sandbody, shot block, left-handed layup. Seeger trying to take the ball away. Chivas comes up with it. Chivas, and it won't go in for him, and an offensive foul. No, wait a minute. It is an offensive foul. Seeger thought the foul was on him. He was making all the noise on the floor.
Well, Seeger again does a lot of things that other folks won't do. Watch him jump in front of Chivas. Now Chivas will get the basketball on the baseline, try to force it inside. Dip the left shoulder right there. Seeger in perfect position. That's 3 fouls on Derek Chivas.
Seeger down the floor. Seeger goes into the traffic. Blaylock winds up with the ball. Leonard knocks it away. Tigers come out. 3-on-2 pass break. Irwin right lane feed. Sandbody right back to Irwin. He's close on the baseline, but he is fouled by Ricky Grace.
You look at Billy Tubbs. Sooners contest every pass. Grace and Blaylock and Seeger. Watch a good block by Leonard as Blaylock tries to take it in, and Leonard's there. And now the Tigers have their version of the fast break. You'll see here, Grace on the baseline, reaches over Irvin.
Coming in for Missouri, Doug Smith for Derek Chivas as Chivas goes to the bench with 3 fouls with 6:42 left to play in the first half. Harvey Grant has gone to the bench for a little rest as we look at those blocked shots. And the blocked shots are playing a role today as Irvin is on the free throw line, connects on number 1.
Well, Stacey King had 87 blocks during the course of the season. That's a Big 8 record, and they're going to have a lot of blocks if Missouri continues to take the basketball right into their face.
So Irvin hits them both. He has 6 for the game. Tony Martin has replaced Grant now at 43-33, 10-point lead for Oklahoma. Tony Martin, an up-and-coming player for the Sooners. Grace goes to the inside. King for the turnaround. It does not go for him. Missouri rebounds. Sandbody clears it away. And Hardy has it for Missouri. 6:19 to go in the first half. And a 10-point lead for Oklahoma. Seeger knocking the ball away from Sandbody.
And now Derek Chivas out of the basketball game and very well might be out for the remainder of the first half. Somebody is going to have to step up and hit a couple of big shots. Doug Smith, as we've said, has been very, very proficient against Oklahoma, especially the game in Columbia this year.
Smith works to Irwin, back to Smith, in close, and the layup will not go down. The foul is called on Stacey King. That'll be his second. And a technical has been called, apparently on Billy Tubbs.
Take a look at it. Doug Smith inside. There's not much contact right there on Stacey King. King picks up his second foul. Billy Tubbs picks up his first technical.
Billy named District 5 Coach of the Year, his 3rd time since coming to OU. I'm sure that technical was on. Well, I shouldn't say sure, but I'm almost sure.
Go ahead and say sure.
Yeah, the finger pressure and anything, really.
I think coaches around the league would all agree on one thing, and that's very tough. They want consistency in refereeing. They want it called equally on both ends. It makes for a much better basketball game. It allows the players to understand what they can and cannot do.
So the technical will be shot by Baron Urban. And there's a reason for that. He's an outstanding shooter, and he drops it in. 7 points for Byron Irvin. Missouri gets 3 out of it, and ball possession with 6 minutes and 1 second to play in the first half. Oklahoma leading at 43-36. Billy Tubbs not through. He's still got a few things to say about that last call. Oklahoma pushing the Tigers way out front with that scrambling defense. Byron Irvin trying to work to the inside to Hardy, and it goes in for Hardy.
Nice job getting the basketball inside to a guy that really doesn't take it inside too many times. The Tigers, with the technical in the bucket, have climbed right back in.
43-38.
You can see the turnovers and assists. It'll be very important for Missouri on the right-hand side to have a bigger number than on the left. More assists than turnovers.
In and out on the inside game, and that one goes down for Harvey King.
Well, Grant is a guy that can get a lot of inside scoring, and that was a very tough shot.
So Harvey Grant and Stacey King have been the big scorers for Oklahoma, and somehow Irvin got that ball up and in. Sooners roaring right back down the floor with a 5-point lead. They have led by 12 here in the first half. Now at 5. Martin now playing on the inside. Seeger blocked on the baseline. Blaylock for a 3-point effort. Yes. His second 3-pointer of the game. Now an 8-point lead for the Sooners. And Tony Martin is whistled.
Well, Tony Martin and Lynn Hardy came together, and Hardy, as you would expect, took the worst of that thing. When flying out of bounds, almost gave the lap of Doug Smith, who had the basketball standing. All right, let's take a look and see if we can see what happens. Here's Smith. Don't know if we can see from here, but Lynn Hardy will wind up at his feet. And there's a foul on Martin.
And Stacey King, who got a little rest, is going to come back in for the Oklahoma Sooners. He has scored 12 of the 48 for Oklahoma here in the first half. Tony Martin will go back to the bench. Tony got a little heated there, and Billy Tubbs wanted to get him out because he would not like to have him on the team. Oklahoma has been outstanding under the coaching of Billy Tubbs. Hardy with 3.
But he's still working the referees, is Billy Tubbs. You know, Lynn Hardy is really a guy that Norm Stewart welcomed back with open arms. Missed 17 games this year due to a back injury, and some suspect that Hardy may never play again. But he's back.
Oklahoma comes down with the ball. 7-point lead for the Sooners. Grant comes to the top. Seeger outside the 3-point area missing, and the ball is kicked right back to him by Blaylock for another one. And King comes up with the offensive board. His pocket is picked. Missouri a 3-on-2 bust out. Hardy down the middle and scores.
Good inside drive by Lynn Hardy. The crossover dribble avoids Grace. Seeger can't get there in time. Hardy's played a big role the last couple of minutes.
Oklahoma hit by 5 at 48-43. 4 minutes left to go in the first half. Blaylock. It's good. 11 for Blaylock. Doug Smith for the Tigers. Irvin, 3-point effort. And Oklahoma rebounds with Seeger. This is where you're going to watch Oklahoma when they give you that one shot. They come right back, and Ricky Grace takes a look from 3-point range to the inside to Grant.
Samboni got caught on the top side, and Grant's strong enough that once he gets you there, he's going to keep you there. And once he gets that 8-foot turnaround baseline jumper, you can all run down to the other end.
Harvey Grant with 15 as Doug Smith was trying to feed cross-court to Leonard. The ball was tipped by Oklahoma and knocked out of bounds. Sambodi will get a breather now as Lee Coward comes back into the game and Church comes back into the game for Missouri. And we have a timeout with Oklahoma leading 52-43, and we'll return right after these messages.
Travel provided by Eastern Airlines, where you can earn triple mileage no matter how you pay.
We're down to the last 3 minutes and 16 seconds of the first half. Missouri continues to get good bench scoring, leading the Big Eight. They've been around the 25 mark all year. Speaking of bench scoring, 9 for Byron Irvin out of the 18. Oklahoma's had nothing off the bench yet.
That might be a bit misleading because Byron Irvin, for the most part, has been a starter the entire year. Missouri, of course, with 8 players that have averaged 20 or more minutes per game, so they've got to get some bench scoring against this club.
In the previous meetings, Oklahoma has had 3 men go all 40 minutes in the game against Missouri. In fact, one game went 45 minutes. In the overtime at Columbia, Church zips it back out to Hardy, who looks at three-point range. 22 seconds left on the shot clock. 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Travel, double dribble.
Wanted to pass it, decided not to. Put the right hand on the ball twice, and that, of course, double dribble. Missouri now defensively, you got to make sure in the last 3 minutes, you take a look at the turnovers. Missouri with 10. Got to make sure that you keep this number right around 10. You can't afford to go down 16 to 18 points.
Ricky Grace thought he had been hammered as he threw that air ball up there. Looked at the officials and indicated that a Missouri hand had slapped him on the wrist. Missouri trying to beat Oklahoma down the floor. 3-on-2. Hardy holds up for the shot, and Church gets the rebound and is fouled by Dave Seeger. And that's number 3 on Seeger.
And Seeger's going to have to rest for a while.
And Billy Tubbs will go to Terrence Mullins.
Hardy the coward, back to Hardy. This is a shot that Lynn Hardy has hit many times before. A little bit short. There's the foul as Church sneaks inside. Church is a guy a lot like Seeger. Not as good a shooter, but certainly does all the dirty work. He'll get on the floor. He'll rebound. Very good defensive player. They nicknamed him the Hammer. You can figure that one out.
And he misses the free throw, and King rebounds it out of there. So Oklahoma gets the ball down the floor in a hurry. Terrence Mullins, like Dave Seeger, is a fine outside shooter from three-point range. Now they move the ball to the inside to King, and King is fouled by Leonard. And we'll have 2 shots coming. So Gary Leonard comes up with a second foul. Oklahoma has played the inside game very well today.
Stacey King, again, when he gets people behind him that time, and he got Gary Leonard behind him, Lynn Hardy made a fake like he wanted to double King and then went back to the perimeter shooter. He's got to come down and force Stacey King to kick the ball back outside. Now, they'll hit some three-pointers on you, but Stacey King, if you don't do it, it's going to be at the free throw line the entire night. He's going to have a big, big game.
And he has 13 after that free throw for the game today. And another one for him. Pressure by Oklahoma. 54-43 Sooners. 2 minutes, 29 seconds left to play in the first half. Blaylock has Hardy tries to take the ball away, almost over and back, but not quite.
Nice job by Hardy, controlling the pace. Had a chance to run, decided not to.
Church to the inside, double teamed underneath. Ball knocked away. Mullins comes out of there with it. And again, Oklahoma uses its defense. Blaylock, Grace, 2 minutes, 3 seconds left in the first half. Mullins looks to the inside, gets it right back for the three-point effort. That's what we're talking about. Terrence Mullins, a pure shooter.
That's a good double down by Missouri. Unfortunately, when he kicked the ball back outside to Mullins, he knocked it down. If they shoot the ball well from the outside, Oklahoma will be a load for any team in the country. They put too much pressure on you defensively.
57-43. That pass may be too long. Not quite. Hardy comes up with it, and the ball is knocked away. It'll be Missouri's ball. Good defensive play by Terrence Mullins of Oklahoma.
You can teach defensive pressure, but you can't teach quick hands. It's a great play. As Church goes into the crowd, he'll tip the ball back to Hardy. And Hardy has it stripped by Mullins.
So it'll be Missouri's ball to inbound with 1:44 to go in the first half. Church takes the inbound pass, and Mullins is really after it. Now Smith cross-courts it to Hardy. They go to the inside, and Church comes up with the bucket.
Clint Hardy has kept Missouri in this basketball game with his leadership and good passing.
57-45 Oklahoma. And OU goes to its inside game for the turnaround shot. Not going down. Rebounded by Church. Tigers have it. Down the floor they come. Irwin. And turns for the jumper. Ball is rejected. Almost knocked out of bounds, but saved by Grace in Oklahoma. With Grace driving to the baseline. Comes back out to the front. And out of the corner goes Mullen. Off the rim, and Smith is up for the rebound for Missouri. And we have 56 seconds to go in the first half. Pretty good pace, huh?
And I think Norm Stewart would like to see the pace slowed down a little bit. They've got 35 seconds on the shot clock. Try to get the ball inside.
Hardy down to the baseline. The ball knocked back and forth and out of bounds by Oklahoma. Missouri's ball to play in.
But Blaylock is everywhere. You beat him off the dribble, he comes from behind. You beat him to the basket, he reaches around you. You stand in front of him, he picks your pocket.
Lee Coward is coming back in from Missouri. Hardy is going out. In the block shot department, Oklahoma's got 8 of them. And of course, you know the #1 blocker is Stacey King, who had 89 coming into this game. Oklahoma 28-3. And 12-2 in the regular season conference play. Told there should be 25 seconds left on the shot clock. They've gone through adjusting the big scoreboard here, which was installed Wednesday, and understandably it's going to be taking a little bit of time to get the thing fine-tuned.
Well, Billy not only working the officials, but now he's working the scoreboard officials, telling them to come on, that's your responsibility. You've got to have that shot clock right.
Well, it's the electronics in it, though, that they're trying to get cleared up. There's certain things that trigger it, and they're trying to work on that to eliminate it. Coward, shot block, foul call, though. Coward will go to the free throw line for Missouri.
It's going to be a Mookie Blaylock before King has the block. Blaylock reaches in right there in the right arm. King would have had another block. They make it so tough for you to get anything easy. How many shots do you remember here in the first half that Missouri has had an easy shot if it's not been off a transition basket?
Blaylock has gone to the bench with his 3rd foul. Blaylock with 3 and Seeger with 3 for Oklahoma. And Derek Chivas with 3 for Missouri. Coward, a 79% free throw shooter. He's now 2 out of 3 on the line today. He's a sophomore from Detroit. Missouri gets one, and it is now 57-46, a 9-point lead for Oklahoma. The shot clock is off. Lower right-hand part of the screen, you'll see the game clock running.
Oklahoma doing something they're not used to doing. Trying to milk the clock a little bit, maybe take the last shot, which would have meant the Sooners probably held the ball longer than they have the entire season.
Sometimes with 20 seconds to play, they'll come down, take the shot, run with you, try to get the ball back for still another one. But right now with the 57-46 lead, and 7 seconds left to go, somebody's got to take the shot. It's Martin, and it is going to be out of bounds as the first half comes to an end. And at halftime, the Oklahoma Sooners lead the Missouri Tigers by a score of 57-46. Well, Dave Logan, your analysis of the first half here.
Well, Missouri is fortunate, I think, to be only 11 points down. Derek Chivas set out the last 6:25. Didn't get much point production from him. They've been able to hang in, doing a good job on the defense, but Oklahoma scoring 57 points in the first half. I think they, too, have to be pleased with their performance.
And outstanding offensive displays by Harvey Grant with 15 points unofficially on our book. Stacey King has 12 for Oklahoma. Doug Smith, Greg Church, and Byron Irvin have been important for the Missouri Tigers. So it's 57.
Kemper Arena in Kansas City, where the Oklahoma Sooners lead Missouri by 11. Oklahoma took the lead at the 16:54 mark early on. They were able to build a 14-point lead on a couple of occasions. The closest Missouri has been able to get in that opening 20 minutes was 5 points, and they did that on that 5-point swing on the technical on Oklahoma. But Merle and Dave, I think the key is the Oklahoma backcourt. They are causing so many problems on turnovers and also 5 3-pointers. That doesn't hurt your team either, Merle.
Well, you're absolutely right, Ron. And if you're going to match Oklahoma on that 3-point shot, you got to have some specialists. That's what Oklahoma has. Byron Irvin probably is the best shot from the outside for Missouri right now.
Well, Missouri can't hope to match Oklahoma on the three-point game and come out of here with the victory. I think right now, if you look at it, Missouri is down 57-46. The Tigers have got to come out and defensively turn it up a notch or two. They've allowed Oklahoma to really get involved in a good half-court offense. They've allowed them to get the ball inside to Stacey King and Harvey Grant. They've got to do a better job, Missouri, of taking care of the basketball game. They've had 10 turnovers in the first half.
But Missouri did come out running with Oklahoma,
which is something I don't think they can do. They've got to try to slow the tempo down.
And so the Sooners lead it by 11 at halftime, and will return.
For every dad who ever played catch with his kids. For every grandparent who still remembers. The Cardinals are back. And this season, the home team has a new home. Catch the action on Channel 11, where the games are.
And now it's time for our Big 8 Spotlight Senior, brought to you by Phillips 66, who make good things for cars and the people who drive them. Missouri All-American Derek Chivas has scored 20 or more points in 14 straight games this season. During that stretch, Chivas shot a remarkable 54% from the field, 60% from the three-point line, and has averaged better than 26 points a game. For the third time in his Missouri career, Chivas was named to the All-Big 8 squad. 8 points and 5 rebounds per game. He's only the 10th player in Big 8 Conference history to be named All-Academic 3 or more times. Dave majors in electrical engineering. Phillips 66 is proud to salute those athletes who excel in the classroom as well as athletics. We are at halftime in Kansas City, and we'll be back after these words from your local stations. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Guys over there. Thank you. And we are at halftime in Kansas City, where the Oklahoma Sooners hold that 57-46 margin. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. And one of the keys for Missouri the final 7 minutes is that this man did not play because of 3 personal fouls. Derek Chivas. But in the early going, he passes to Smith for the bucket, and Missouri is only down by 1 at 5-4. However, at the 16:54 mark, Oklahoma did take the lead for good in that first half. Mookie Blaylock, what he does so well, he gets the steal, drives, gets the hoop, and Oklahoma's up by a 2 count, 10-8. Blaylock and Ricky Grace really were part of the difference for the Oklahoma Sooners this afternoon. No question about it. He comes up with yet another steal. This time he tries to drive the lane, dumps it off to Ricky Grace, and the little guard gets the hoop, and Oklahoma's up by 9. Lee Coward played excellent for Missouri in that first half, kept him in the game along with Lynn Hardy. Gary Leonard finally gets the slam, and it's a 10-point Oklahoma advantage. But once again, it's the Oklahoma backcourt. Ricky Grace to Mookie Blaylock. They finally get it inside to the general, Harvey Grant. He gets the basket, and Oklahoma leads 50-41. And finally, it was Lynn Hardy. He comes up with a steal in the basket. Takes it all the way down, and that cuts the Oklahoma lead to 9, a 52-43, but it wasn't enough. Oklahoma leads it by 11. And we'll return to Kemper Arena in Kansas City after these words from your friends at Phillips 66. Big 8 basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, good things for cars and the people who drive them. And by Bud Light. 51 seconds away from the second half tip-off between Missouri and Oklahoma in our first semifinal game. Ron Tula with Merle Harmon and Dave Logan. And Merle, looking at the statistics, the glaring one obviously is 3 points and also the turnovers.
The turnovers have really hurt Missouri today. And of course, you have to give Oklahoma credit for creating them, Dave.
Well, there are so many ways the Sooners can beat you. You can come out, and if you don't do a lot of very good things, you're not going to be in the basketball game. If you turn the ball over too many times, you lose. If you don't rebound well, you lose. If you don't shoot a high percentage, you lose. And if you don't shoot free throws well, you lose. And Missouri's got to be pleased with the way they're shooting the ball, 55%. They have been hurt from three-point range, but that is nothing new. They're not a team that likes to shoot a lot of three-pointers.
Let's look at the scoring. Churches has contributed mightily for Missouri today, but he's a good ball player.
He's a very good player, good defensive player, and you add 10 points, that's got to be a bonus. Derek Chivas, you can see his name in the light. He's got to pick it up. He's got to get in the game. He had 3 fouls early, set most of the last 7 minutes of the first half, and he will be the key to Missouri's offensive output.
And for the Oklahoma Sooners, You've got lots of scoring from two of the big three up front.
Again, Missouri defensively really having problems when Oklahoma kicks the basketball inside, evidenced by the fact that Harvey Grant and Stacey King, 15 and 13 respectively, they've had a bunch of good shots inside. Missouri has not done a good job of doubling down, and I'm sure that's something that Norm Stewart told his bunch at halftime.
While this game is being played here, others are being played across the country in tournament action, and Louisville leads South Carolina by 15 in the second half. And Kentucky has been upset by LSU by 6th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats.
Tournament time again for Dale Brown.
And how, isn't he something? And Seton Hall in the second half, 4-point lead over 13th-ranked Syracuse. So Billy Tubbs and his Oklahoma Sooners enjoying a comfortable lead here at the half. Billy, as we mentioned, has been named the District 5 Coach of the Year. He's done an outstanding job at Oklahoma, keeping a tradition going of outright titles in conference play, and that graphic there speaks for itself, doesn't it? 24-0 when leading at the half. Norm Stewart, his counterpart for the University of Missouri in his 21st year in Tigertown, has won 5 Big 8 titles in the 80s. Norm won his 400th game as the head coach of Missouri yesterday. He got his 100th win at Missouri in 1973, his 200th in 1979, his 300th in 1983, and that was against Johnny Orr in Iowa State. And he got 400 yesterday against Johnny Orr in Iowa State. An outstanding coaching record. Not quite the way we thought it was. So Dale Brown's magic didn't work after all, did it? Kentucky, just a reverse score, 86-80 over LSU. So Eddie Sutton is a happy man. Dale Brown not so happy today.
It's going to be interesting right here at the outset of the second half to take a look at some of the Sooners. Could they play in the NBA? No, but they certainly score like an NBA club.
They do indeed.
Can Missouri control the tempo of this basketball game? They've got to come out, do a better job rebounding, get the ball into Chivas, try to deny the inside pass in Oklahoma. So they want to do exactly what they did in the first half, really set the tone of this game by defensive pressure.
The Detroit connection, and that Detroit connection is engineered by assistant coach Rich Daly. These 5 are from the Detroit area. John McIntyre is not here as he is under suspension right now. One of the Missouri, well, I guess it was the Columbia, maybe, and if I'm wrong, forgive me, but one of the papers in Columbia called the Tigers this year the Detroit Tigers, simply because they've had such good performances from the Detroit 5, if you will. Missouri in possession, Coward from the outside, over the rim. Irvin, good rebound, though, and bangs the ball off King and out of bounds, and it'll be played in by Missouri.
Now, you see Tony Martin starting for the Sooners here in the second half. Harvey Grant injured his left ankle. He's going to come in, but had to get it retaped. Turned it a bit in the first half.
So the switch is made, and it appears to be a little tender, though. The way he was up, skipping, and jumping going on the floor. Byron Irvin. Grace has him defensively as Irvin hits the baseline. Chivas making his move in the alley underneath to Church, and Church the fake and the shot, and down it goes. 12 points for Church, and the Tigers score first in the second half. Oklahoma by 9, but Oklahoma by 11, just like that from Blaylock.
Well, they don't beat you, they demoralize you. You work so hard. A great inside pass by Chivas. Gets a couple of guys in the air, bounce pass inside to Church. He fakes twice, goes up, gets it to crawl in. And Oklahoma in 6 seconds comes back, and Blaylock hits a 20-footer.
And Lynn Hardy is going to come in at the next dead ball for the University of Missouri. Sandbody, Seeger has him defensively. Chivas in the matchup against Grant, over the top of Grant. Rebound on the offensive board by Church. It will not go. And finally another effort by Irvin. It won't go either, and Chivas gets it down. 8 points for Chivas. And again, the Oklahoma lead has been cut to 9, 59-50. Seeger, Chivas after him. Chivas really putting the pressure on defensively. Remember, he is carrying 3 fouls. He was right in Seeger's face. Into Grant. Grant kicks it back outside for the move by Ricky Grace. And amazing Grace, as they call him in Oklahoma.
That's good defense by Missouri. Good overplay by Greg Church.
And down they come on a 2-on-1 as it is now. And Irvin hits the layup. 7-point lead now for Oklahoma.
That was all set up by the defense. Again, overplaying the passing lanes. They're getting good backside help, something they didn't get at all in the first half. Church on King, Sambodi on Grant.
Now the Missouri fans here are starting to get into the action as a foul is called. As Harvey Grant was fouled by Coward. That is the first team foul of the half against the lifting Missouri.
Church will come backside on the defensive help. You'll see right there, almost gets the basketball. Grant able to stay with it. And Coward taps Grant on the shoulder. You got to really help from the backside defensively when you play man-to-man, and especially against a team with two premier inside scorers like Grant and King.
Howard is back in. Brother Hardy is back in for Coward as Grant hits number 1. That gives him 16 for the game. The teams split during the regular season. Oklahoma winning at Norman, Missouri winning at Columbia, and Seeger falls over the line. What he was trying to do was anticipate the shot. He lost his balance.
Kind of embarrassing. Watch the left-hand side. He knows he's going. Yep, I'm going.
And so he joins the Oklahoma swimming team. Chivas again. And 8 points in the half for Missouri.
And again, a nice pass by Lynn Hardy. Certainly knows how to run the fast break. He's done it well during the course of his career.
Tigers have outscored Oklahoma 8-3 in this half, but not for long. King gets it down. 15 for him. King and Grant, as a duo, are having quite a day for Oklahoma. You're right about how hard a team works for shots, and Oklahoma dips the ball down the floor, and even if you make the shot, they get it back in a hurry against you. Now the ball is knocked away from Chivas, picked up by the Sooners. Down into the corner to Blaylock, and it pops right through. That's a 2-point shot.
Missouri needs to take advantage right now. Oklahoma not in the same defensive mindset they were in the first half. They're not really challenging every pass. They seem to be content just to play good man-to-man. You can bet they'll rev it up in a couple of minutes.
Oklahoma back in front by 10. Sambodi in the lane working. Lays it off to the left side for Byron Irvin. Underneath the Church. Nice movement.
Nice pass, and that's the kind of bucket that Missouri really didn't get many of in the first half. Good inside passing by Irvin.
And they really worked for it. And it worked well. And the foul is logged against Grant as he bumped into Sambodi, I believe.
You got two strong kids banging into each other. Grant and Sambodi, right side of the screen. You'll see right there, Grant with the elbow right in Sambodi's mouth. So Sambodi and Church are playing because they're two very good defensive players, although Church is giving them some offense this afternoon.
Church, Chivas missed the layup, and Oklahoma rebounded. Missouri went for the long pass. Blaylock right down the floor for Oklahoma. The ball taken away from him, but a whistle and a foul. It is on Lynn Hardy of Missouri, number 24. So Norm Stewart's plans well laid here, and Chivas just happened to miss that layup at the other end of the floor. Oklahoma with Seeger. 16:30 to go in the game. King double team to the lane.
Good team defense by the Tigers. Contesting the inside pass. They scramble back and get back outside.
Grace from the outside. That's a three-point effort. The home run second of the game. He has Oklahoma leads by Irvin down.
Irvin trying to make them down before they let go of the end.
As he had a step and finally turned the ball over. Byron Irvin will come to the bench. Lee Coward will come in to replace him, number 4 for Missouri. And it's 67-56 Oklahoma with 16:07 to go in the game. The winner of this one will advance to the championship game tomorrow afternoon, which Raycom will bring you. It'll be Kansas and Kansas State later today to see who will play the winner of this game. King and a follow.
Church and Sambodi try to double. Chivas isn't strong enough on the other side to handle King.
And Ricky Grace fouls at the other end. One thing Missouri is doing, as Church is helped up, Missouri is using the long pass to beat Oklahoma down the floor.
You see it right here. Church will go in. The foul on Blaylock right there. King almost gets tangled up in Church's legs.
So Church will go to the free throw line. Three fouls on Blaylock. Second shot to be in play.
We got one left here.
15 points for Church. His season average is half of that, 7.5. Got them both. And we have a timeout here at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. 15 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the game. Oklahoma leads 69-58, and we'll return right after these messages. Selecting our fourth player of the game. Near the end of the telecast, the fourth player of the game selection. Stay with us. Now let's go to Ron Thulin.
Thank you very much, Merle. Let's take a look at the tournament facts about the #1 seed, which today, of course, is the Oklahoma Sooners. The top seed had advanced to the finals in 8 of all 11 tournaments, but in 5 of those 11.
3 fouls on Blaylock. Second shot to be in play.
We got one left here.
15 points for Church. His season average is half of that, 7.5. Got them both. And we have a timeout here at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. 15 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the game. Oklahoma leads 69-58, and we'll return right after these messages. Selecting our fourth player of the game. Near the end of the telecast, the fourth player of the game selection. Stay with us. Now let's go to Ron Thulin.
Thank you very much, Merle. Let's take a look at the tournament facts about the #1 seed, which today, of course, is the Oklahoma Sooners. The top seed had advanced to the finals in 8 of all 11 tournaments, but in 5 of those 11 tournaments, the top seed did not win. But right now, Oklahoma's putting themselves in a position to accomplish that feat. Merle?
Thank you, Ron. When Greg Church was hammered at the other end of the floor a few moments ago, really, hit 2 free throws. The foul was called on Ricky Grace of Oklahoma, giving Grace his thirds. We checked the score, 69-58.
You saw the three-point shooting. Oklahoma 7 of 18. The Tigers are 0 for 2.
Church trying to save that ball, the loose ball. Oklahoma retains possession underneath. King scores and is fouled. 19 for King.
Excuse me, Merle. When you play pressure defense out front, they're too big and too athletic. They can lob over the top, and you can see King draws the foul from Church. The basket will count as the ball drops in. It's impossible to do both. If you're going to play good perimeter defense, you give up something inside, and Oklahoma's got the kind of players that certainly make you pay for it.
King misses a free throw. Sam Bodie clears it away for Missouri. Sam Bodie, the all-purpose player. He can play any place for you. Coward, into the key, kicks it out front to Hardy, and Sam Bodie drives the left side for the layup. And he's got the body to do it.
Somebody went asleep for the Oklahoma Sooners. Sam Bodie wide open.
Seeger missing. They come back, and the ball is flipped out. Here comes Coward. Oklahoma back with 2 men on defense. Coward to Chivas. Chivas hooks it in. 12 points for Derek Chivas. And a whistle also.
Stacey King is going to get the foul. Chivas with a good job. Now King wants an offensive foul on Chivas for pushing off with his left arm. A smart play by Coward, who goes up. He's going to shoot the 12-footer. Spots Chivas coming down the lane. Now Coward goes up. Watch the pass. Chivas has got King almost underneath the basket. Tough to see from that angle what King wants. You can see what he wants, to push off with the left arm.
Chivas going for his 13th point. Derek, Missouri scoring champ, missing, scoring almost 23 points a game average-wise this year. And he has been hot in the last several ball games. 20 or more times or rather 14 or more times, he scored more than 20 this season. And the turnaround jumper goes down for King. Great second half by King, 8 points in this one, and Chivas misses a layup, trying to get it back, and Oklahoma has the ball, but King turns it over, coming over the sideline.
Well, you won't see this many times. Derek Chivas is going in for the dunk, took off too far, then decided to lay it up and got caught in between.
Missouri the ball, Oklahoma leading by 11. Sam Bodie trying to beat Seeger down the baseline. And the foul is called on Seeger. It'll be his 4th.
Billy's got to get Dave Seeger out of the basketball game now. Sam Bodie, once he's started to realize that he's a better than average offensive player, now is very offensive minded.
You know, Billy is going to make some more switches too. Tony Martin is coming in. Seeger carrying 4 fouls, but King has 3, Blaylock 3, and Grace has 3.
And again, Oklahoma is not a deep club. They don't lose a lot defensively when the starters go out, but they sure lose a lot of scoring punch.
Sam Bodie on the inbound pass. Comes to the outside to Hardy. 5 team fouls against Oklahoma.
Sooners have been forced to go to a 2-1-2 zone.
3 team fouls against Missouri. Whether they stay in it after the inbounds as Sambodi comes down and misses from underneath and follows the ball tipped away, and Sambodi then loses it out of bounds. Boy, Missouri's missed some close-in shots.
Yeah, they really have. Sambodi working very hard. You'll see Oklahoma, I would guess, for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes stay in the zone. And that will work the liking, I would think, of the Missouri Tigers. They can control the pace, utilize a lot of clock.
King from the reverse side drops it in and will go for a 3-point play. King, who scored 40 against Missouri, and Norman is having a whale of a day this afternoon.
The Church is on the right shoulder. He's actually playing the top side shoulder, which is what you have to do, but you've got to get backside help. That time you've got people standing around watching it play. Greg Church playing pretty good defense, but you can't play a guy like Stacey King unless you do get the backside help.
We have had a technical foul called on the Missouri bench. Norm Stewart hit with a technical foul. Doesn't seem to be bothered a lot by it. Sometimes the coach doesn't mind taking one in order to get the attention of his team. Al McGuire was a specialist at that when he was coaching Marquette. In fact, one time I was doing a game with Marquette and Notre Dame, and Al was trying to get a technical. The official wouldn't give it to him.
I knew when he was up there.
Yep. 24 points for King. And now the technical to be shot by Grant. This is the first. You'll have another on the bench technical. And also, Oklahoma will have possession of the ball. Grant, 73% free throw shooter. Missed them both, though you will have the ball. Let's go to Ron Thulin.
Look where Church is. Now look at the backside help. There's nobody even in the paint trying to help Church. You lob it over to a bigger Stacey King. Lynn Hardy is very late getting there. Missouri just can't play man-to-man defense against the Oklahoma Sooners unless they play good team defense.
Ron Thulin.
Merle, an interesting statistic. Is this almost a home court for Missouri, Kansas, and Kansas State? Well, how about this? Yesterday, those 3 teams shot 116 free throws. The other teams in the Big 8 Conference, only 92. Merle?
Interesting, Ron. Ricky Grace from the outside. They scramble for the ball. Missouri comes out of there with it. Lee Coward into the front court. Oklahoma leading 76-62. Hardy, Coward, Sambodi. And you were right about Oklahoma and the defense. That shot is missed. Missouri with a follow by Bunton, but the ball already been turned over. On Church, I believe. It'll be his third.
You watch Greg Church as he jumps over the top of Tony Martin, right in the middle of the screen. There's Church with the left arm knocking Martin out of bounds.
14 fouls against Oklahoma, 5 for Missouri now. We have 13:23 left to play. Fouls in this half, there they are. Oklahoma with Grace from the outside. Chivas for the rebound. Martin commits the foul.
Chivas doing a nice job defensively, able to sneak around the baseline and help Nate Bunton trying to cover Stacey King, then get back in time to get the rebound and draw the foul from Tony Martin. Chivas is just back now. Martin will come in from the left side. There's the foul.
And the Oklahoma pressure not quite as intense in the backcourt as the ball is inbounded by Missouri. OU leading 62-76. Sambodi looks underneath, tries to feed the ball to Chivas, forced it to him, and Blaylock steps in there to take it away. The steal specialist down the lane. King blocked but drops back to take the shot and connects, and he has 26. And Oklahoma building the lead now to 78-62. Missouri needs a run of points in a hurry.
You know, most teams, when they play the zone defense, the 2-1-2, they really have a tough time pressuring the passing lane. Not this group. They'll get hands in the lanes. They move quickly. It's a very active defense. And they're making it tough for Missouri against the zone to find an opening to take a shot.
Less than 12 and a half minutes to go now in the game as Coward tries to come down the baseline, stops for the shot, and you see the result. And a foul is called also. Billy Tubbs with a comfortable lead right now.
This crowd is very quiet. Push out by Coward. Tony Martin will come and foul Coward after the shot. The bucket goes. Missouri's got to get something going so they can get the crowd back in the game. Everybody's sitting on their hands at Kemper.
Coward for three. That'll help. 5 points in this half for Coward. 78-67 Oklahoma. 12:05 left to play in the game. Foul against Smith. Doug Smith is second as he was battling Grant.
Smith and Button in for Church and Sambody. Again, they've got their hands full with King and Harvey Grant. You take a look at some of the other scores.
Louisville the winner, big winner over South Carolina. Martin on the inbound. Underneath the Grant. Will not go down, but a foul is called, and it's Button, I believe, who is whistle for this one. It is.
You know, sometimes you do things just the way they were drawn up on the board. I've been talking about backside help. Lynn Hardy's right where he should be. And he gets backside help from Nate Button as well. They just can't do anything with Harvey Grant.
And so Grant gets 2 on the shooting foul. Missouri has committed 17 fouls in this halftime. Harvey Grant, 17 points, averaging 21.2. Sparta, Georgia, 6'8" senior. Played JUCO ball at Independence, Kansas. Had 40 points against RU or Roberts for a season high. He connects on both free throws. And we have a timeout with 11 minutes, 58 seconds remaining in the game. And the Oklahoma Sooners are enjoying an 80-67 lead over the Tigers, and will return after these messages.
Crowd will raise
13 with 11 minutes and 58 seconds left in this ball game here in Kansas City. And Oklahoma leads Missouri by a score of 80-67 with 11 minutes, 58 seconds left to play in this semifinal round. First game of the afternoon. Oklahoma hoping to advance to the championship game tomorrow. Will meet the winner of the Kansas State game to be played later today. Merle Harmon, Dave Logan, and Ron Thulin with you at Kemper Arena. As these two teams, great rivals, have split the two games played earlier this year. Now Oklahoma with the big edge, and Grant driving for the layup is going to be fouled by Nathan Bunton, and Grant will go to the line. Harvey Grant, certain to be a first-round selection in the NBA draft, 18 points for the game.
Grant and King that time actually doing a little full-court pressing on their own. And because Mookie Blaylock comes up with another steal, Grant's on the other end for the long pass and resulting 2 free throws.
Oklahoma, with 80 points on the board in 11 minutes and 40 seconds to go, has scored over 100 points in 16 games this year. High mark was 152. They scored 99 yesterday in a win over Colorado in the first round. 19 points for Harvey Grant.
You know, Billy Tubbs has come under criticism throughout the course of his coaching career. I don't think that it actually bothers him. But you've got to say one thing about Tubbs. He gets these kids in great shape. He plays 5 and 6 players. They full court pressure the entire game. They don't stop running, and they don't look tired.
Oklahoma 82-67 over Missouri. In the previous meetings this year, Oklahoma had 3 players go the entire distance. Inside to Leonard, and Leonard's shot will not go, but a foul is called on Oklahoma. You might have seen something strange for those of you who are looking in for the first time today and just joined us. Oklahoma is playing his own defense.
They're playing his own defense because they're in foul trouble. Key point here, Gary Leonard, once he catches it, does not bring the basketball down. Watch him keep it right above his head. And there's the reach-in foul. Leonard could be a big force for the Missouri Tigers. 7-footer, he's got decent shooting ability. They certainly need his rebounding help. And as long as they can keep the tempo at a reasonable pace, Leonard can be a factor.
5 points now for Leonard. So he's reached his scoring average. 11:25 to go in this one. Oklahoma comes down with a rebound. The Sooners, a great three-point shooting team, and they will use that talent anytime. Right now, King trying to maneuver against Leonard, and he is really hammered. Oklahoma leading it by a score of 82-68. King will be on the free throw line. He has hit 4 in a row. 4 in a row. and has 20 points for the game.
Oklahoma, when they lost the game in Columbia, they were 9 for 28 from three-point range. Today they're 7 of 20. Also shooting the basketball better, and probably defensively they picked it up a notch or two.
And King converts. Oklahoma leading at 83-68. You know, in that game at Columbia, Oklahoma was absolutely stone cold. They shot only, well, they hit 29 out of 71 from the field.
I mean, it's an adventure just to get the ball across midcourt, and Missouri is one of the better clubs around. Certainly the Big Eight, they're having trouble. Norm's going to get, I think, a very good break right now, try to set the offense, because they have not solved the Oklahoma press at all.
And we have a timeout called here in this Oklahoma-Missouri contest. And we'll return to Kemper Arena after this from your friends at Phillips 66. A reminder that you can depend on our production and technical crew is one of the outstanding duos in the country when it comes to televising sports, from Raycom Sports and also John Crow Production. And our production crew is headed by producers Ted Garcia and Bob Helmers and Lonnie Dale, who is our director. Outstanding job, gentlemen. And to the techs, you guys are the unsung heroes. Great picture.
Indeed. We saw Oklahoma shooting 69% in the second half. Stacey King is 6 for 6.
Leonard gets fouled, going for the layup. Martin is whistled, and I think that's number 4 on him. Yep. Oklahoma 83, Missouri 68. 2 coming up for Gary Leonard, the 7'1" junior from Belleville, Illinois, just across the river from St. Louis. Second shot to be played.
It will be fun to watch and see if Missouri can pick up the defense, create a few turnovers. Oklahoma has been terrific today in taking care of the basketball. And this is a club that loves to push it. They love to run. You would think they'd turn it over more.
Blaylock for 3, and the rebound pulled away by Duck Smith, and the Tigers have it. Oklahoma's biggest lead of the day, 16 here in the second half, and Chivas going for 3. So Chivas with 15 now for the Tigers. Now the crowd starts to get into the action as Missouri heads for his own defense.
Playing a 3-2, the Sooners can look to get the basketball to the baseline. That's where the majority of your shots against this defense will come.
3-point effort. Not this time. Leonard clears it. Fast break Missouri. Hardy 3-on-2. Middleman. Right lane feed. Smith scores.
Again, Lynn Hardy doing a good job handling the basketball. The Tigers are on a roll here.
The lead has been cut to 9. And Grant gets 2 of them back. 23 for Harvey Grant. Now pressure by Oklahoma backcourt. Right down the middle is Hardy. Leonard, ball knocked away. And foul is going to be called on Blaylock as he fouled Hardy. And Blaylock comes up with number 4.
Norm Stewart has walked out, and Lynn Hardy sitting on the deck. Norm looked at him and said, hey, you've got to be careful. Lynn looked over and said, I was shooting it. Norm said, no, you weren't. Hardy trying to make the lob pass to Leonard. Tough to lob over this group of athletes.
Mullins is coming in for Oklahoma. Blaylock will get a breather. Byron Irvin of the University of Missouri is second leading scorer for the Tigers, but this is Hardy who's on the free throw line, getting number 1. Irvin, by the way, has 11 points in the game. Hardy going for number 7. 10-point lead for Oklahoma. 9-point lead for Oklahoma. So the 16-point spread is down to 9.
Mullins and Seeger, I think, nice job by Billy Tubbs getting the folks in the basketball game. 2 excellent perimeter shooters to go with Grace. And now the Sooners have a chance to combat the 3-2 zone with some good perimeter shooting.
Grace popped one a few minutes ago. Mullins. Mullins, also a good perimeter shooter. King double team, ball knocked away, and it's loose on the floor. Seeger, and the ball knocked out of his hands and out of bounds to Oklahoma. They're letting him play.
Gary Leonard, smart move that time. Stacey King got the ball and felt for the pressure. Leonard took a step back. King didn't respond well.
Another sellout crowd today. Every session has been sold out. The two yesterday, the session today, and of course the championship game tomorrow. Ricky misses, and Missouri rebounds, and here they come. Irvin, Chivas, working, shooting, hitting. Foul is called in Oklahoma. Basket is...
Oh, this basket can't count. There's no way.
Good. Well, one indicated yes, one indicated no.
Well, he can't count the bucket. The foul was well before the shot went off. This bucket should not count. Foul on Grace. Grace was on the floor before Chivas made the hot move. Now, Norm wants the bucket. One official called the bucket good. One said no. And Norm right now is saying, hey, he can't overrule you, but it's a good call.
Well, right now, the Sooners, as you see, have some serious foul problems. Chivas gets the first free throw. 16 for Derek. 85-77, Missouri cutting into the lead, and Norm is starting to do a little pacing over there.
He's starting to realize that he's back in this basketball game. He's done it with good defensive play. Gary Leonard's been tough in the middle, and Lynn Hardy really has been outstanding in the point.
85-78 Oklahoma. The Missouri fans are in it now. Oklahoma going for the long one. Air ball taken by Missouri. They've got a 4-on-1.
Middle.
Irvin to the middle. Chivas, the jammer.
Nice pass by Irvin. Chivas wanted the basketball a little bit sooner. Irvin took it to the paint, dished it off to Chivas, and a very active zone defense right now for the Tigers.
Oklahoma's 16-point lead has been cut to 5 here in the second half. 8 minutes, 18 seconds remaining. Grant trying to get a pair, and he does. And we've got a whistle. The basket is good, or is it?
And they got a charging foul on Harvey Grant, I think. Ron Spiller has counted the shot. That's his fourth personal foul. You watch Harvey Grant as he takes it inside. I'll tell you what. To me, that's somebody stepping in. Harvey Grant gets called for the foul, but you've got to let a guy come down, at least have a chance to come down.
25 points for Harvey Grant, but he also has 4 fouls. 8 minutes and 14 seconds left, and the Sooners are really in serious foul trouble now.
Let's take a look again. You be the judge. Harvey Grant dribbles into the paint past Chivas. He's in the air, and I think it was Lynn Hardy that stepped underneath. Toughest call an official has to make is the block charge. It was Doug Smith who stepped underneath.
Doug Smith, 64% free throw shooter, can get Missouri back within 5. Number 2 in play. Rebounded by Oklahoma's Harvey Grant. Since Missouri has gone to the zone, you can see what's happened on that last graphic. Seeger for 3. He's the ideal zone buster.
That certainly is an answer to the latest Tiger challenge. We'll see if Missouri can come back. Done a good job of getting the basketball inside. This man's been exceptionally hot.
Chivas gets a 3-pointer. 22 points for Derek Chivas. 6-point lead Oklahoma. 7:41 remaining. Mullins comes back to the outside to Seeger. Mullins down the baseline. Gets bottled up under the basket and also gets fouled. And a 1-and-1 coming for Oklahoma. Doug Smith got the foul. His 3rd.
Sooners, to their credit, not a club that easily rattles. Certainly Kemper Arena alive now. The Tigers have climbed back within 6. You've got a freshman player, Mullins, taking the basketball inside, trying to dish off. As you see him fouled, they are in the 1-and-1.
Mullins is at 75% of his free throws. We mentioned before, he's a fine outside shooter. He's from San Francisco, a freshman. Number 1, and rebounded by Smith. Missouri brings it down. The Tigers trail by 6. Time remaining, 7:22.
Derek Chivas is calling for the basketball.
Chivas had his meetings yesterday with the team. Became the team leader in the game. Right now, it goes to Irvin. Irvin trying to feed inside. He couldn't make up his mind whether to take the shot or not.
He's made that play before, got caught up in the air and had a presence to make the good pass. That time, couldn't get it done.
So Oklahoma takes it. Ricky going for three, and it's off the rim. Grace gets his own rebound. Down the baseline. Tries again. Leonard clears it for Missouri. Outlet to Irvin. Oklahoma back quickly on defense. Gets Freeman back in a hurry to jam the middle.
Nice job by Hardy, slowing the pace down, bringing the basketball back outside.
Doug Smith. And jammed in by Leonard. A 4-point lead for Oklahoma. 90-86. 6:25 left to play.
Boy, Leonard's playing an important role here.
King against Leonard, and a foul is called. Basket is good.
That's not a smart play by Derek Chivas. That basketball, good defense by Leonard. Now Chivas knows it's off the glass and well on its way down. You got to be smarter than that defensively.
So it's a 6-point lead again. 6 minutes, 13 seconds left of the game. Missouri with the ball. Boy, Norm Stewart is up and pacing, and so is Billy Tuck.
Since the Sooners have gone to the zone, it's been good play by Missouri, but they haven't been able to, Oklahoma, put the defensive pressure on Missouri that they'd like to.
Chivas to Leonard against King. King blocks a shot, but he fouled. And Oklahoma continues. Well, we'll have any foul trouble.
We'll have a chance to take a look at it. Leonard, does he walk? No, he doesn't. Here's the block. Whew. Two big folks up high. Stacey King claiming he's got all basketball. Looks like a pretty good block.
Right now, every player on the floor for Oklahoma is carrying 4 fouls. Leonard for a pair. Gary Leonard hitting 45% off the free throw line.
Give the Tigers a lot of credit. They were 16 points down and could have easily folded up. They've done a good job defensively. They've been much more patient on the offense, and they're starting to hit more shots now.
Big offensive rebound by Doug Smith. Missouri has the ball after missing both free throws. Chivas. Seeger has him defensively. There now immediately Oklahoma drops back into the zone again. Irvin. They look to the inside. 3-point shot taken, and it's good. Lynn Hardy. 92-89 Oklahoma. 5:28 left to play in the game. The Sooners 28-3 for the year. The nation's 4th-ranked team. And Terrence Mullins arching high, followed by Grant, a big follow. 27 points for Harvey Grant.
But Doug Smith misread the rebound. Had a chance to go up, jumped too soon. The ball hit the rim, and there was Grant.
94-89 Oklahoma. 5 minutes left of the game. Byron Irvin looks. Leonard to the outside. They swing it around the perimeter. Irvin for a 3-pointer. It's going to be an air ball, but a follow is good. Doug Smith steps in there to get a pair for Missouri.
Tigers have bounced back in this with some good 3-point shooting, but they can't get too caught up and look into the 3-pointer exclusively. That time they got away with one, and Smith was there for the rebound. Oklahoma is a team that's not going to beat themselves. If Missouri should win this game, they'll do it on their own merit.
Now Oklahoma starting to set a pace, slowing it down. 3-point lead for the Sooners. 4:25 to go.
And what Billy Tubbs is saying right now is, Norman Stewart, you got to come out and play me man-to-man. If you don't, I'm going to sit out here. I'll run the clock down. I'm not sure it's a wise decision with a 3-point lead and over 4 minutes to go. Missouri is going to stay back in the zone. There's 7 seconds in the shot clock.
Now Mullins hits the lane with a jump shot, and it will not go down for him. Mullins on a follow, though, and King now comes down with a rebound, and we've got a whistle underneath. As big Gary Leonard comes down on top of Terrence Mullins, and that's a load, friends.
It takes him a while to fall. Leonard started to fall about 3 seconds ago and now just hit the floor. Done a very good job inside. You'll see the shot Mullins. Now he'll go up, get the basketball. Leonard is there to contest the shot. Good defense. He stays on the ground. But with Leonard contesting the shot by Mullins, there's nobody there for Stacey King. And then the domino theory takes over.
And the foul takes place. Leonard and King now to shoot it. 29.7 rebounds. Missed it. Chivas rebounds it. Missouri can come within one or tie with a three-pointer. It would be a remarkable comeback if the Tigers can go ahead now and lock this thing up, being down by 16 in this half. Chivas, he wants the ball. Underneath, and the pass by Hardy could not be handled by Doug Smith, and he was wide open. And we've got a timeout now. A timeout with a 94-91 game, and we'll return after these messages.
Big 8 basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66.
Lynn Hardy has played such a big role in the second half here. Norm Stewart told me 3 weeks ago that it would be nice to get Hardy back for a number of reasons, leadership, but he's a great passer. He really snaps off the pass. In this case, he snaps it a bit too hard as he throws it right through the hands of Doug Smith. Smith, not used to somebody throwing it like that, had an easy bucket, but just couldn't control it.
3 minutes, 39 seconds left in the ball game. Oklahoma defeated Missouri at Norman 120-101. Missouri defeated Oklahoma at Columbia 93-90 in overtime. And Oklahoma has the basketball, ranked 4th in the nation. Scoring 106 points average-wise per ball game. And this one is 94-91. Mookie Blaylock, Ricky Grace go to the inside, turn around by King, and the rebound by Leonard. Missouri has it, outlet, and right now Lynn Hardy will slow it down.
Good job by Gary Leonard defensively on King, holding his ground.
Blaylock knocks the ball away.
Blaylock's been sitting down for quite a while with foul problems. He's back in. Again, in his own defense, Oklahoma not nearly as effective defensively because they can't pressure the passing lanes. They obviously can't play the good man-to-man overplayed defense. And it's really worked in Missouri's advantage.
Right now, Terrence Mullins is the only OU player on the floor with less than 4 fouls. Right now, we want to welcome stations joining us as Phillips 66 presents Big 8 basketball. You'll be joined for your scheduled game immediately following the conclusion of this one. Derek Chivas out of the corner and on the rim and rebounded by King. Oklahoma takes over, 2:35 left. OU has a 3-point lead.
Not the shot they wanted the last time. The shot clock was running down. Chivas from deep in the corner. Oklahoma now trying to get the basketball inside to Stacey King if they can.
Blaylock missing the three-pointer. Hardy rebounding for Missouri. 2:18 remaining. Oklahoma with a 3-point lead in Missouri with the ball. The winner of this one will play the winner of K-State KU to be played later today. And then the championship game tomorrow. Chivas for 3 is going to be short of the mark, and Seeger pulls the ball away. Oklahoma comes up the floor now with a 3-point lead in a minute 58 remaining. And Doug Smith just missed a steal. Grace open for the 3-point effort, doesn't take it.
You're seeing Oklahoma right now be very reluctant to shoot the basketball, much more patient, and they get the ball inside. That's what they've been looking for the last 2 or 3 times down. And give them credit. Ricky Grace passes up an open shot. Mookie Blaylock passes up an open shot. They wouldn't do that in the first half. They do it now with a minute 43 to go.
And so Stacey King has a chance for 3 here. King has played outstanding ball against Missouri this year. He had 23 at Columbia. He had 40 in the game at Oklahoma. 7 for 13 from the line today. And King, a 71% free throw shooter, connects it. Now, Oklahoma with a little breathing room. 6-point lead, a minute 41 left to go in this one. Raycom Sports brings you game 2 over most of these stations, KU, K-State, and the championship game tomorrow. Leonard banks it in.
Another great pass by Lynn Hardy in the penetration. And now Missouri's got to be more active in that defense. Billy might bring him back out. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to force Missouri to go out and match up man-to-man. And I don't think Norm can stand to let 34 seconds run off the clock with a minute and 15 in the game.
97-93 Oklahoma, a minute 11 left to play. Now the shot clock showing 26 seconds.
And now the Tigers are in the man-to-man defense. You can look for the Sooners to get the basketball inside to either Grant or King.
And Grace handling the ball with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. The shot out of the corner by Blaylock for three. And Leonard rebounds it. Here come the Tigers on a fast break. Irwin laying it up there. Down it goes. And he is fouled on the play.
The bucket's got to count in this situation.
Oklahoma and Missouri. 48 seconds left to play. Oklahoma leading 97-95 as Missouri gets a two-pointer from Irvin, and he'll go for a three-point play.
That's very close. Both officials right on top of it. Point to Grace. Let's see if Grace is there and set. That's very close to an offensive foul. That's, again, the toughest call for any official, the block charge call. Both of them called block. Ricky Grace is fouled out of the basketball game, but that could have easily been a charge called against Missouri.
10 points is average for the year, almost 16, but more importantly, Oklahoma has just lost an outstanding three-point shooter. And he's not alone as far as foul trouble is concerned. Grant has 4, Seeger has 4, King has 4, Blaylock has 4. Right now, Oklahoma leading by 2 with 48 seconds left to the ball game. Merle Herman, Dave Logan, and Ron Thulin with you from Kemper Arena in Kansas City. First game of the semifinal round this afternoon. Let's go to Ron Thulin.
All right, Merle, no question about it. For the Missouri Tigers, it comes down to a matter of free throws in the last 3 minutes of the game, and they are very impressive. The person, obviously, you want to foul would be Mike Sambody at only 50%, 5 of 10. Have to keep the ball away from Derek Chivas because 84% in the last 3 minutes, and he enjoys this type of pressure. One side note, Merle, every time Chivas scores, he runs down and sees David Manning, of course, the big Navy center, and says something to him like, I'm doing it, aren't I? Get back to you, Merle.
All right, Ron, and Missouri has called a timeout with 48 seconds remaining. Oklahoma leading 97-95. We'll return after this from your friends at Phillips 66. With 12 minutes and 55 seconds left to play in the game, Oklahoma was cruising with a 16-point lead over Missouri. Then the Tigers started to put on a spurt. Oklahoma answered. Up and down the floor they went, and all of a sudden Missouri is right back, not only right back in the ball game, they got a chance to win this thing. They're down by 2 with a free throw coming to Byron Irvin, an outstanding shooter.
There you see the timeout situation. The Sooners with 3, Missouri with 2. Nobody can give any fouls, and should there be a jump ball, Oklahoma will have possession.
Byron Irvin brings Missouri to within 1. Oklahoma leading at 97-96. 47 seconds left to play in this semifinal game.
Norm forced to play man-to-man now. And again, you can look for Oklahoma to try to get the basketball inside to Grant or King.
There are 2 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Inside, King, and he banks it in, and a basket is good, and a foul is called on Nathan Bunted of Missouri. King with 34 points.
And I've said it before, when you play the man-to-man defense, you can't play behind Stacey King. If you play on the shoulder, Nathan Bunton with the 4th personal foul, you've got to rely on backside help. That time Bunton clearly behind King. He's too big, he's too strong, and he gets off the floor too quickly for Bunton to be able to handle him down there.
And King to the free throw line, a 71% free throw shooter, and Gary Leonard, the 7'1 junior, comes in for Missouri. He reports in for Nathan Bunton.
Bunton just physically not strong enough to handle a guy like Stacey King down the blocks.
4-point lead OU. 31 seconds remaining. Missouri's got to get down the floor in a hurry and get that ball up in the air.
And now Oklahoma's back to the man-to-man.
Ball scrambles. Chivas picks it up. Baseline shot in the air. Will not go. Chivas working again. Puts it up there, and a foul is called. And the foul is on Grant. And that'll be his 5th. He will leave the game with 24 points, out with 19 seconds left. Ricky Grace went out with 48 seconds left.
Let's take a look at it. Mullen reaches in and takes the basketball, and now it's a free-for-all. Chivas will get the ball, lean into Seeger, try to create the shot, watch him go get his own shot. Keep in mind, Oklahoma saddled with foul problems. The foul call of Harvey Grant, tough to see, but Chivas is going to have a chance to cut into a 4-point margin.
So now Grant will leave the floor. Mike Sandbody has come back in for Missouri. Outstanding game for Harvey Grant with 24 points.
Don Stewart's got to be saying now, get me into overtime. Grace is out. Grant is out. Tigers want to try to get into overtime any way they can.
So Martin will come on. Tony Martin checks in for Grant. Martin is a real comer for Oklahoma, a 6'7" sophomore from Los Angeles. Billy Tubbs, whose team has won 28, lost only 3, losing to Missouri, Kansas State, and LSU this year. Chivas, 2 shots. 23 points for Chivas. 19 seconds remaining. Oklahoma 100 and Missouri 97.
It's going to be interesting to watch the press now. Blaylock, the only true ball handler the Sooners have in the game.
And a blocking foul called on Missouri. And Blaylock will be going to the line. So the foul is on Lynn Hardy. The Sooners 100, Missouri 97. Missouri now with 16 seconds remaining and a 1-and-1 coming at the other end of the court and a 3-point deficit. Blaylock has hit 16 in a row on the free throw line. And he is a 69% free throw shooter, so he's improved in that category. Oklahoma has now scored 100 points or more 17 times this year. And for the second time against Missouri. Leonard comes in, and Sandbody goes out for Missouri. Blaylock. Now timeout call. Missouri. 16 seconds to go. Missouri is on the defensive right now with the 3-point deficit and 16 seconds to play, and Oklahoma going to the free throw line. And we'll see what happens when we return to Kemper Arena right after these messages. At 3, let's go to Ron Thulin.
All right, Merle, there is a telling statistic for the Missouri Tigers. They now trail by 3 points. The 3-point play will obviously come into effect. Chivas 2 of 3, Coward 1 of 2, and Byron Irvin 0 of 2.
And we go back to the Oklahoma free throw line, where Mookie Blaylock will be there for a 1-and-1. 16 seconds remaining. Missouri can only hope now for a miss by Blaylock, a rebound by Missouri, and a 3-point shot that would be good at the other end of the floor. But Blaylock connects, and it's a 4-point lead for Oklahoma. On our books, 15 points from Mookie Blaylock.
He's a great defensive player, 118 steals as a junior. We also told you the Big 8 newcomer of the year, but he's a better offensive player than most people give him credit for.
Missouri has 1 timeout remaining. Free throw miss, 4-point lead for Oklahoma. Missouri with the ball, and it's 12 seconds and counting. And driving all the way, the layup is good, and or is it good? It's an offensive foul, no basketball.
This is not a popular call, but I can tell you it is a very good call. Glenn Hardy trying to create something inside, and he runs clearly right over the top of Tony Martin.
So take the basket away because it was never given, except by me. 101-97, Oklahoma leading. Let's take a look.
Well, you can take a look at Glenn Hardy. Now watch where Tony Martin, number 50, is. The contact comes before the ball is released, thus the basket's wiped off. It's a good call.
And a foul on the Tigers and a 1-and-1. And another quick foul by Lynn Hardy.
Lynn trying to draw the charge, actually grabbed Mookie and tried to force him down on top of him. Smart play. Sometimes you get away with things like that.
Lynn Hardy with his 4th personal foul. 8 seconds remaining. Oklahoma 8 seconds away from its 29th win of the year. Its 2nd win over Missouri, and an advancement to the championship game tomorrow against either Kansas or Kansas State. That game to follow also on Raycom Sports over most of these stations. Blaylock on number 1. He'll have his 2nd shot. It'll be in play, and it's 102-97 Oklahoma. Second shot by Blaylock will bounce away. Chivas grabs it, 7 seconds. Chivas takes the ball down the floor. Down the lane he comes and shoots and scores. And that's the end of the ball game. announce that our fourth player of the game is Stacey King of Oklahoma, who connected for 35 points and 9 rebounds. Our fourth player of the game, Stacey King of Oklahoma. So the Sooners advance to the championship game tomorrow. Billy Tubbs victorious for the 29th time this year. The fourth-ranked Sooners have defeated Missouri as Missouri made a gallant effort coming from a 16-point deficit to get within one and then have Oklahoma start to pull away. Not by much, though, as that score would indicate, 102-99, and Oklahoma is the winner.
Well, Oklahoma certainly needs to receive a lot of credit. We'll see Billy Tubbs with Ron Thulin in a minute, but they staved off both of the Missouri drives in the second half. The Tigers really coming back from literally almost being out of the basketball game. Two great teams, and certainly an exciting game.
So it's Oklahoma against Kansas or Kansas State tomorrow. Let's go to Ron Thulin.
And thank you very much. Carl, with me is Billy Tubbs. And Billy, you were up by 16 points. Did you feel you had it pretty secure then and expected this to happen?
We had it pretty good, Ron, and then, you know, we got 6 guys with 4 fouls on them. We can't keep the team on the floor. Took us out of the defense that got us there. We had to go to pretty soft defense. And but Missouri has a great club. There's no question about that.
Your team had to show you a great deal of poise today, playing with 4 personal fouls. Blaylock and Grace, they had such a great first half. They showed you something.
Well, when we could play the defense we wanted to play, we had the running game going. Then we got soft on defense. But Blaylock, Grace, the whole bunch played a great game. I'm very proud of this team.
Now you're in the final, and that is exactly where you wanted to be.
Well, no question about that. This game meant a lot to us, a lot to the NCAA tournament seed, but most of all, it meant a lot to our pride.
Any idea where you'll be going in the NCAA no matter what happens? We hear SEC, top 4 seed.
Hey, they can send us any place they want to. Just put us on a neutral floor.
Okay, tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock. How do you match up with both Kansas and Kansas State depending who wins?
Well, it doesn't matter to us who wins, but we know we're going to play an outstanding team. The semifinal games of the Big 8 tournament is as good as any tournament in the nation, and either one of these 2 teams are outstanding. This will be another great game.
One final question with tongue-in-cheek. A lot of people are yelling at Oklahoma. You guys love that. You seem to be feeding off that
Well, I
today.
tell you, it's not that we love it, but, you know, I'd rather people be hollering us and we're winning than love us and we're getting beat. But, you know, I think we're good sports, and we mean to be. We mean to represent the University of Oklahoma first-class manner. And we love this excitement.
Okay, Billy Tubbs, congratulations. See you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Billy Tubbs, head coach of Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Sooners advance to tomorrow's 3 o'clock final against the winner of our upcoming game between Kansas and Kansas State. And we'll return to Kemper Arena in Kansas City, where we still have one more game on tap right after these messages. Stay with us. And one of the all-surprise team members this year has been Stacey King from Lawton, Oklahoma, the junior. He's our player of the game, and he's with Merle.
And Stacey, congratulations on your ball game. You have really played well against Missouri this year. At Norman, you had 40 points. At Columbia, 23 and 35 today.
Well, I get really up for Missouri because they're a big physical team, and they're probably the most physical team in the conference. And I just went out there and did everything I've been doing all year, just playing strong with my confidence, and the shots were falling.
How many times has Oklahoma played zone this year?
Well, we probably played it about 5 times. We don't play it too often. We only play it when we have a team that doesn't shoot very well on the outside. But against Missouri today, we couldn't afford to play it too long because with a great player like Cheapers, who runs the baseline so well, you know, he got open for some easy baskets.
One of the things that I noticed, Oklahoma does not lose its poise. You did not lose the poise today when Missouri closed the gap, and it looked like they might catch you.
Yeah, we've been in that situation before. You know, when you get in a situation like that, the main objective is just to play strong and play with a lot of confidence, and that's what Coach Tubbs instills in us in practice. That, you know, no matter how the odds look, just play our game and let the guys come to us, because we were ahead, and they had to play us. They had to come to us, and which we did, and we won the ball game.
What did he talk to you about in those last timeouts, the last few seconds?
Well, he wanted us to play smart because we were throwing the ball away, and, you know, Missouri jumped in the zone and kind of caught us off guard, and we wasn't running the plays like we normally do. And I think, you know, when he got us over there the second time out, he was telling us, hey, just get the ball inside, you know, get it to me and Harvin, we'll score.
Stacey King is with us. He's our player of the game for the University of Oklahoma. He's had 3 great games against Missouri. And Stacey, take a look at yourself. Tell us what's happening here.
Well, I just went up and Bunton was pushing me all through the lane, you know, and I just knew he was going to get a foul because the ref told him to get off the first time. He didn't, so I just turned around, shot it, and he pushed me one time too many.
How do you feel about the depth of Oklahoma? Now, you were in serious foul trouble today. At one time, all 5 men on the floor had 4 fouls.
Yeah, we have confidence in our bench. You know, no matter how many fouls, if we got some guys foul out of the starting 5, we can always go to our bench because we got great athletes. I think our second team can beat anybody in the nation. They're just as good as we are.
How do you assess Kansas and Kansas State?
Well, I think they're both, you know, it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a toss-up, but I think you're going to have to give it to, I think I'll give it to Kansas because of Danny Manning's inside ability. You know, he can turn the game around for Kansas. And then, you know, Milton Newton has had a good game. He had a good game last night. And I think, you know, as long as they play together and play with a lot of confidence, they'll be in the finals.
Which team does Oklahoma play best against and match up best against?
I think we match up better against Kansas because, you know, we got 2 big guys. We can double team Manning, and there's a lot of guys on the team that don't like to take that outside shot. Kansas State is kind of hard to match up against because Richmond, he can hurt you so many ways. I mean, he goes to the free throw line 9 or 10 times a game, and that's where he gets most of his points. He's a great athlete. I think I'd rather be playing Kansas.
A heavy load will fall on your shoulders next year. You ready for it?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just going to go ahead and lift some more weights, get stronger, and just come back and play with the confidence I had this year.
Stacey, congratulations on an outstanding game.
Thank you very much.
Stacey King of Oklahoma, our player of the game, who scored 35 points to lead the Sooners. Okay, Stace, to lead the Sooners to the victory today. Let's go back to Ron Thulin.
Okay, Merle, thanks a lot. Stacey King, of course, 35 points, the postseason tournament record for most points scored by an individual. That was 36 points, so Stacey King off by just 1. So the Oklahoma Sooners advance to tomorrow's 3 o'clock final, which you'll see right here on the Raycom Sports Network, and they'll take on the winner of our upcoming game between Kansas and Kansas State, and that'll be coming to you in about 22.5 minutes. We'll return to Kemper Arena in Kansas City after these words from your friends at Phillips 66. Travel arranged in Kansas City. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from our first semifinal game, 102-99. The Oklahoma Sooners holding that 11-point advantage at halftime. They built it to 16 in the second half. Here's Stacey King underneath for 2 of his 35 points. Oklahoma led at that point, 71-58. Over Lee Coward passes to Derek Chivas, who was rather quiet in the opening 20 minutes, playing with 3 personal fouls. He gets the basket, and he has the reaction, and it seemed like Missouri was making a run. They trailed only by 8 at that point, 71-63. And it was Lynn Hardy underneath the Smith. He gets the basket, and Missouri is on a roll. They begin to chip away at that Oklahoma lead. Then it is Byron Irvin pass to Chivas. He gets the slam, and Oklahoma now is up by only 5. But when the Sooners needed it, they seemed to get it. Ricky Grace to King. King shoots and misses. Rebound slapped to Chivas. Into Grant's hand. He follows up with a bucket. Derek Chivas has the priceless reaction again. Then as Byron Irvin drives the lane with less than a minute left in the game, makes the bucket, draws the foul from Grace, and that was his 5th personal foul. And that made it a 97-96 ball game. However, it was Dave Seeger to Stacey King, puts Oklahoma up by 4, and Billy Tubbs had the winning reaction as Oklahoma goes on to win at 102-99 to advance to tomorrow's final. Merle Harmon, that is the way we'd like our semifinal game to go. Merle?
You know, at the beginning of the afternoon, Ron, you mentioned the fact that the 4 top-seeded teams were in the semifinal round. And we expected this kind of game, the one that we just saw between Oklahoma and Missouri. And I'm looking forward to the Kansas State-Kansas game because I think it's going to be very similar as far as excitement is concerned. Going into the statistics, and these are final statistics, Oklahoma's 3-point shooting, very effective this afternoon. Field goal wise, both teams shot well enough to win. On the free throw line, Oklahoma had a bit of a deficit there. But in turnovers, Missouri turned the ball over 17 times. And one of the things about Missouri, when Missouri has out-rebounded the opposition, they'd won 17 and lost 2 this year. This afternoon, they out-rebounded Oklahoma by 10 and wound up losing the game. Bench scoring, Missouri leads the Big 8 in bench scoring and has throughout the year. But Oklahoma is only interested in the final outcome of the ball game, and they put 102 points on the board today, the 17th time they have scored over 100 points in a ball game. And now they have beaten Missouri 2 out of 3 this season. Once, of course, in Oklahoma. They lost in Columbia in an overtime game, and now a big winner in the semifinal round here in Kansas City. Let's go back to Ron Thulin.
And thank you very much, Merle. The Oklahoma Sooners, of course, winning this afternoon. And with me now, Jay Randolph and Gary Thompson will be handling the Kansas State-Kansas game. And Jay, that was an exciting game. Missouri almost pulled it out after being down by 16.
It was a remarkable game. It really was. And it, I think, shows everybody the kind of basketball that is played in the Big 8. We look forward to this one. Needless to say, when you say Kansas, Kansas State, and this, the 213th meeting in a storied series, we kind of rev up the Sunflower Series one more time, and it should be very special, as it always is, and this place will be alive with rooters on both sides.
A lot of blue and a lot of purple in the audience. Gary Thompson, I tell you what, the Kansas State rivalry is just as good as the Oklahoma-Missouri rivalry is, and this could be a real barn burner also.
Well, it'll be the rubber match today. Kansas continues to have tough luck. Pritchard will not be in this ball game. Sprained a knee last night. Is done for the tournament here. So Kansas lineup has about 46 points in their lineup. Manning's 25 of it.
What about Danny Manning? Even the last time they played against Kansas State, or last two times, he really wasn't that big of a factor scoring. Will they try to just box him in again?
Well, I think that's a problem. Oklahoma State gave him trouble last night with the zone very active, and that's what you'll see Kansas State do. They will force Kansas to try and beat them outside.
Okay, gentlemen, go get a glass of water. The run and gun show is about to begin in the second chapter of our semifinal game. Well, we've talked about all the seniors in the Big 8 Conference this year, and some of the records that have been set by those seniors in the Big 8 Conference. Of course, the records belong to Oklahoma. This past game set a record for most three-point attempts in a game, 29. Most three-point attempts made in a game, 10 by Oklahoma. How about free throw attempts? 50. Kansas State yesterday, most fouls in a game, 33, and that was against Nebraska. Once again, we have Kansas and Kansas State coming up in just about 16 minutes and 32 seconds. So stay with us for that one. You know, we talked about the super graduate, the guys that are going to be graduating this year. Let's take a look at some of those that may be playing in the NBA next season.
When you watch the Big 8 senior class of '88, you might well be looking at a group of first-round NBA draft choices. What a season it's been, with some sparkling performances by a host of talented Big 8 seniors. Danny Manning could very well be the first player selected in this year's NBA draft. The Kansas All-American had another outstanding year, averaging 24 points a game and becoming the all-time career Big 8 scoring leader. What's more, Danny also is second on the conference career rebounding list. Manning led the league in shooting, and he has always been among the leaders in rebounding. Iowa State had two superb seniors. Jeff Greer has been a first-team All-Big 8 player for years. Jeff led the conference in scoring, averaging around 25 points per game while hitting 53% from the field. Moreover, Greer was the second leading rebounder in the conference and among the top 10 in steals. He scored 30 or more points in 8 games, including 37 against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This year, Jeff became Iowa State's all-time career scoring leader. Another senior Cyclone to watch is LaFesta Rhodes. Rhodes has been in the top 5 in scoring this season, averaging over 22 points a game. And he was the National Player of the Week after scorching the Nets for a phenomenal 54 points against nationally ranked Iowa. At Kansas State, Mitch Richmond wrote his name into the Wildcat record books. Who can forget his 41-point performance in the Wildcats' sensational win over Oklahoma? Not only has Mitch been among the league's top 5 scorers all season, he also hit over 50% of his shots from three-point range. When you mention Missouri, you immediately think of Derek Chivas. Derek graduates as the 3rd leading scorer in Big 8 history. Plus, Derek pumped in 42 points against Virginia Tech. Chivas has averaged over 22 points per game this season, and there's little doubt that he was the driving force of Tigers' success. Oklahoma also had another couple of standout seniors in Harvey Grant and guard Ricky Grace. Grant led the Big 8 in rebounding this season while scoring over 21 points per game. Harvey scored a career-high 40 against Oral Roberts and hauled in 23 rebounds against Loyola of Chicago. And credit some of Harvey's points to Ricky Grace, who led the Big 8 in assists. Grace keyed the fast break as well as anyone, and he also led the league in three-point shots. At Colorado, the Buffaloes knew who to depend on for leadership. Senior Scott Wilkie. Scott averaged over 20 points per game this year while hitting 54% from the field. And he not only led the Buffaloes in scoring, but rebounding as well. And there are some other seniors who will be well remembered also. John Starks from Oklahoma State, averaging in double figures all season. And Derek Vick at Nebraska, who led the Huskers in both scoring and rebounding. Yes, the senior class certainly lived up to its name this year in the Big 8. A group of superbly talented young men who played the game of college basketball with as much class as anyone. Raycom Sports salutes this year's Big 8 seniors and looks forward to watching many of them succeed with sparkling careers in the NBA. This is Mark Matthew reporting for Raycom Sports.
Kansas and Kansas State coming up next on the Raycom Sports Network, and we invite you to stay tuned for one more game in our semifinal round of the postseason tournament. We'll return to Kemper Arena in Kansas City for much more right after these messages. We'll be right back. We had a chance to see some of the players that'll be graduating from the Big 8 Conference. Now let's take a look at those that'll be delighting us next year. Let's take a look at some of the underclassmen that will play in the Big 8 next season.
When you look ahead to the future in the Big 8, who do you see now that the likes of Danny Manning, Mitch Richmond, and Jeff Greer approach graduation? Well, there certainly will be no shortage of talent. The conference is loaded with some very talented underclassmen who will keep the Big 8 caliber of basketball at its all-time best. At Missouri, keep an eye on Byron Irvin. The junior guard was the Tigers' second leading scorer this season, averaging over 14 points per game. And he also hit 40% from three-point land. And there's also Nate Bunton, only a sophomore, but Nate was among the top 5 in the league in field goal percentage. At Kansas, guard Kevin Pritchard may be only a sophomore now, but he's still averaged in double figures and will be an outside force to stop in years ahead. At Iowa State, Elmer Robinson will try to fill Jeff Greer's shoes. Elmer has been a starter for 2 seasons already. Elmer averaged double figures this year and was among the top 10 in the league in blocking shots. He's also one of the top free throw shooters in the Big 8. At Kansas State, Fred McCoy has already shown Wildcat fans what he can do, hitting 55% of his shots from the field, and he was also second on the team in rebounding. Fred scored over 20 points to key the Wildcats' win over Iowa State. And how about guard Steve Henson, who led the league by hitting nearly 95% of all his free throw attempts for the season. Oklahoma may already be set to defend their Big 8 title next year, even with the loss of Harvey Grant and Ricky Grace. Stacey King averaged over 20 points per game this season and led the conference in blocked shots. Stacey also averaged close to 9 rebounds per game. He could very well contend for the scoring title next year. Stacey scored 40 against Centenary. And don't forget about Mookie Blaylock. No opponent will. Mookie will pick an opponent's pocket faster than anyone in the nation. And then it's down court with lightning quick speed. Mookie averaged over 4 steals per game this year and led the league in that category. Oklahoma State had one of the very best freshmen in the nation this year in Richard Dumas. Not many teams have a freshman lead the team in scoring, but Richard's done just that, hitting nearly 17 points a game. In addition, Richard also led the Cowboys in rebounding. Richard may be the best ever in Cowboy history by the time he graduates. And at Nebraska, keep an eye on Pete Manning. This talented junior hit 58% of his shots from the field and was among the best in the Big 8. Yes, Big 8 basketball will continue just like we all like it, thanks to some superb underclassmen who will be the stars of the future. These are just a few of the players to keep an eye on in the 88-89 season. Players who ensure that Big 8 basketball will remain among the very best in the nation. Reporting for Raycom Sports, this is Mark Matthew.
And we'll return to the semifinal round of the Big 8 Conference postseason tournament.
Was to be the year the Atlanta Hawks fulfilled their vast potential. And while Dominique Wilkins has lived up to all expectations, the Hawks as a team have not. They have been plagued by inconsistency, a trend they must reverse as the playoff stretch unfolds. It's no surprise that the Boston Celtics are the team everyone in the East is chasing. They have maintained the best record in the conference despite bumps and bruises and an occasional scare like this one. However, no disguise can hide the identity of the Celtics' inspirational leader.